lives.
Shirika DT Sacco was started on 24th of April 1969 by members from the Ministry of Cooperative Development.
The Sacco opened its common bond in 2015.
We have many members from all sectors of the economy.
We offer the most competitive, most affordable loans.
Shirika imenisaidia kupata hii plot. Hizi ng'ombe unaona ni shirika.
Long live Shirika and God bless you.
This Wednesday at 8:40 p.m. on NTV.
Taking pride in constructing tomorrow's skylines. Adding strength to Kenya's landmarks. Presenting the power for specialized constructions. Cementing the nation's future. Simba Cement, the strength and pride of Kenya.
It's fair to say Borussia Dortmund's season has resembled a roller coaster. BVB's performances in the Bundesliga have been inconsistent and lackluster, in contrast with their spirited showings in the Champions League. And while their unpredictability was evident over 180 minutes against Atletico Madrid, Dortmund are on the cusp of an unlikely Champions League final berth.
I tried looking out for you, bro. Hey, you see now? How's the heartburn? Look now, it's burning.
Do not hold back in any situation. Eno gets to work on the 6 symptoms of heartburn fast.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
This is NTV.
Ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaba mpenzi mtazamaji, karibu sana katika taarifa za NTV jioni, ikiwa ni tarehe 24 mwezi wa Aprili. Tumekuandalia taarifa kemkem ikiwemo kuhusiana na mafuriko ambayo yameathiri wengi kote nchini katika maeneo tofauti. Pia katika sehemu ya pili ya afya yako hii leo mtazamaji, tutakuwa tunaangazia mbinu tofauti ya kuwasaidia kina mama au maalum ambayo inawasaidia kina mama kujisaidia ili kuweza kujisaidia salama, au kwa kujifungua kuweza kujifungua salama. Tupate kwanza vipasho.
Kusema kweli sijaiona kitu kama hii. Ila container ilikuwa na gas, imeenda. So tunafanya tu kuomba Mungu atusaidie.
Maafa, uharibifu wa mali na kukatizwa kwa usafiri huku mafuriko yaking'ata sehemu mbalimbali.
The governor and the cabinet secretary Yutani is not under arrest. He has not been confronted with any charges at all for the entire period we have been here.
Aliyekuwa waziri wa fedha Ukuru Yatani na gavana wa Marsabit Mohamed Ali wametiwa mbaroni na makachero wa EACC kwa ubadhirifu wa shilingi bilioni 8 za county.
The counties have agreed unanimously that they will take whatever necessary action that is required to stop the sufferings of Kenyans.
If any doctor is dismissed in Mandera, we don't expect doctors in Migori to be at work. We don't expect doctors in KNH to be at work. It is not a fragmented action. It's an action of all doctors across the country.
Serikali za kaunti zaanza kuachisha kazi madaktari wanaogoma.
Kiwi Cup inawekwa roughly 6 centimeters from the anterior or 3 from the posterior. Inaguza tu kwa edge na hapo kwa edge. Na hiyo ni kupunguza complication kwa mtoto.
Na katika afya yako leo hii tunaangazia mbinu mbadala ya kina mama kujifungua kwa kufyonza mtoto maarufu kama vacuum delivery.
Hii ni NTV Jioni na Nuru Abdul Aziz.
Na karibu sana mtazamaji, mwenzangu ishara ni Florati. Na tukianza taarifa zetu, zaidi ya watu 12 wameaga dunia katika kaunti ya Nairobi na Kajiado kutokana na mvua kubwa inayoendelea kunya. Wakazi wa mitaa mbalimbali nchini wanakadiria hasara baada ya mvua kubwa kusababisha mafuriko katika maeneo mengi ikiwemo Nairobi ambapo zaidi ya wakazi 60,000 hasa wanawake na watoto wameathirika zaidi. Wananchi tayari wamehimizwa kuhamia maeneo salama kabla ya maji kuzidi unga. Fatma Bugo na taarifa hiyo.
Hasira, ghadhabu na hamaki ya maji sio vitongojini au mitoni tu, kwani nalo jiji la Nairobi limegeuka ziwa. Mtaani Mathare miili ya watu 12 tayari imeopolewa. Watu hao walisombwa na maji ya mafuriko. Wakazi takriban 60,000 wameachwa bila makao katika maeneo ya Kibra, Lindi, Githurai, Zimmerman na Mathare.
All the emergency response teams, including Nairobi Water Company, our health, wellness and nutrition, mobility, disaster management have been deployed to these areas to provide the necessary support.
Huko Athi River katika mtaa wa mabanda wa Mangeli, kaunti ya Machakos, watu 2 wameripotiwa kufariki huku operesheni ya kuwasaka wengine waliosombwa ikiendelea. Wafanyi biashara katika soko la Kagio, kaunti ya Kirinyaga, wanahesabu hasara kubwa. Shule ya msingi ya Ruangondu katika kaunti ndogo ya Mwea Magharibi haikusazwa.
Kuna mara mbili sasa maji yamejaa yakafurika hadi choo zimekuja juu. Sikuzi hata watu wafungui duka hapa.
Nataka county government na national government ituwekee drainage system nzuri juu venye tumekaa sasa. Kunaweza uwezekano wa kuwa na maradhi.
Kwa wale walioweza kuokoa baadhi ya vilivyobaki, hima walivihamisha, ila wengi wakaachwa njia panda. Magari ya kibinafsi na yale ya abiria nayo hayakusazwa. Hapa shughuli za kuopoa gari zilizokuwa zimesombwa na maji zikiendelea. Serikali ya kaunti ya Nairobi imewaomba waathiriwa kuhamia maeneo salama kabla ya hali kuwa mbaya zaidi, kwani kulingana na idara ya utabiri wa hali ya hewa, mvua hiyo itaendelea kunyesha.
Tafadhali msingoje kusongeshwa. Kama pali huko jana kulinyesha, unafikiri leo ni safe, leo labda mvua itakuwa zaidi. So usisubiri kusongeshwa. Jamani, watu wasonge mahali ambapo wameelezwa na wale sub county admins, assistant county commissioners na deputy county commissioners ambao wako hapo.
Kwa mujibu wa takwimu za shirika la Msalaba Mwekundu, watu 38 wamepoteza maisha, shule 24 zikiathiriwa, hospitali 7 zikifurika na biashara 264 zikiharibiwa. Fatma Bugu, NTV.
Na mpole sana kwa waliopoteza wapendwa wao katika mafuriko haya ambayo yanaendelea kushuhudiwa katika maeneo tofauti nchini, na tuendelee kuishi au tuvuke katika maeneo yaliyo salama. Usafiri ulikatizwa katika barabara na Manga eneo la Athi River baada ya mto Tana kuvunja kingo zake mapema hii leo. Kufuatia tukio hilo, wakazi wa maeneo mbalimbali eneo hilo yakiwemo makazi ya Graceland wamepoteza mali ya mamilioni ya pesa.
Ghadhabu ya maji ya mafuriko ilidhihirika wazi mapema hii leo katika barabara na Manga kwenda daraja kuu la eneo la Athi River. Wakazi wa Kitengela, Athi River na viunga vyake wanaotumia barabara hii walilazimika kutembea kuelekea kazini kutokana na ukosefu wa magari yaliyozuiwa kutumia daraja hilo.
Maji nimeikuta ikigusa hii daraja. Kurudi nilikuwa naenda kazi, hakuna kuenda. Maji, kuna watu wananipigia simu, madereva wengine wako huko Kachoito, hawaendi. Wanasema mpaka wapelekewe chopa watoke.
Vile nilifika kuangalia kwa uwanja, niliona maji kaanza kukuja. So kurudi hivi juu, kurudi tena chini, nikapata maji imejaa. Imeingia paka kwa hoteli, juu ni restaurant, imebeba vitu zote, imebeba viti.
Wanene walioshuhudia wanasema mto huo haujafurika kiasi hicho takriban miaka 10 iliyopita.
Imetushangaza sana, manake tunafanyaga kuona, manake hata ile container ilikuwa na gas, imeenda.
Akizungumza na wanahabari baada ya kutembelea maeneo mbalimbali katika juhudi za uokoaji, gavana wa Machakos Wavinya Ndeti amethibitisha mikakati ya serikali ya kaunti katika kurudisha hali ya kawaida.
80 households have been affected. The water was in their houses. In some houses up to the ceiling level.
Wakazi wa mtaa wa Graceland, eneo la Athi River, hawakusazwa na mafuriko hayo pamoja na maeneo Kasaitu na maeneo mengineo.
We are working together as a team to save our people, and here we have done very well. We have saved a lot of people. More than 200 people are out of their houses.
Na katika kaunti ya Kiambu, utoaji wa huduma ulisitishwa kwa muda katika afisi za kaunti baada ya maji ya mafuriko kuwavamia ghafla. Marian Muli, NTV.
Kwingineko, Rais William Ruto ametia saini kuashiria mswada wa marekebisho ya sheria na kanuni 16 za bunge. Miongoni mwa sheria zinazofanywa marekebisho ni ile ya masuala ya operesheni za ofisi ya mwanasheria mkuu kwa kuteua bodi ya ushauri na mapendekezo ya uteuzi na kupandishwa cheo kwa solicitor mkuu wa mawakili wa serikali. Aidha, sheria hiyo imebadilisha sheria ya likizo za kitaifa kwa kubadilisha jina Utamaduni Day kuwa Mazingira Day itakayoadhimishwa kila Oktoba tarehe 10. Kadhalika, sheria ya trafiki pia imebadilishwa kuwezesha teknolojia kutumika kuadhibu makosa madogo ya trafiki. Aidha, sheria ya ushuru wa nyongeza ya thamani VAT kuondoa ethanol katika orodha ya vitu visivyotozwa kodi. Mabadiliko hayo pia yamefanyiwa sheria ya vyuo vikuu kumpa rais mamlaka ya kubuni vyuo maalum mwa zingine. Na Rais William Ruto amezindua kampuni ya mnada wa magari kutoka Japan huko Naivasha, kaunti ya Nakuru. Kampuni hii ni ya kwanza hapa nchini na ukanda wa Afrika Mashariki. Kampuni ya Jumbo AAA Holding Limited tayari imeagiza magari kutoka Japan ili kuyapiga mnada kwenye tovuti yao kwa gharama nafuu. Vile vile serikali kupitia mamlaka ya maeneo maalum ya kiuchumi inasema kuwa imeweka mkataba na mwekezaji kujenga kiwanda cha pili cha magari yanayotumia nguvu za umeme kufikia mwishoni mwa mwaka huu.
I won't say we are cheaper or we are expensive, because the car price is determined by, the bidders. There could be many bidders and the price can go up or go down. But to be honest, it will be cheaper than most of the people.
Buyers will also use the Kenya shilling as a trading currency and can participate from the comfort of their homes. I know some very good work has gone on with the dollar, but you may not even need to use the dollar in this facility. So with your Kenya shilling, you don't have to struggle with finding out what the exchange rate is.
Na tukisonga mbele, aliyekuwa waziri wa fedha Ukur Yatani amehojiwa na maafisa kutoka tume ya maadili na kupambana na ufisadi nchini EACC kwa madai ya matumizi mabaya zaidi ya shilingi bilioni 10 za kaunti ya Marsabit kutoka mwaka 2014 hadi mwaka 2024. Maafisa wa tume hiyo walifanya upekuzi katika boma na afisi za Yatani pamoja na za familia yake hapa jijini Nairobi. Maafisa hao pia walikamata gavana wa sasa wa Marsabit Mohamed Ali. EACC inasema imepata stakabadhi muhimu ambazo zitasaidia katika uchunguzi wa sakata hiyo. Washukiwa wengine 7, baadhi yao maafisa wa sasa na wa zamani wa kaunti hiyo pia walihojiwa. Kulingana na EACC, Yatani ambaye pia alihudumu kama gavana wa Marsabit kuanzia mwaka 2013 hadi mwaka 2017 anatarajiwa kujiwasilisha tena katika ofisi zao baada ya wiki moja. Na sasa mtazamaji, tukiangazia kuhusiana na mgomo wa madaktari, ni kwamba madaktari wanaogomo wameanza kupokea barua za kuachishwa kazi. Hatua hiyo imechukuliwa na usimamizi wa kaunti mbalimbali. Haya ni baada ya mazungumzo baina ya serikali na madaktari hao kwenda fyongo. Helen Aura anaarifu.
Kiatu cha mgomo walichovaa madaktari sasa kimeanza kuwabana.
The counties have agreed unanimously that they will take whatever necessary action that is required to stop the sufferings of Kenyans.
Huku mgomo wa madaktari ukiingia siku ya 43, madaktari chini ya muungano wa KMPDU wameanza kupokea barua za kupigwa kalamu. Naibu katibu mkuu wa muungano wa madaktari KMPDU hajasazwa.
The counties have issued threats and a person has been a victim. My salary was stopped almost 19 months ago, and when we met the county initially, they said they were to reinstate it, but they sent me a dismissal letter instead, simply because of this current strike.
If any doctor is dismissed in Mandera, we don't expect doctors in Migori to be at work. We don't expect doctors in KNH to be at work. It is not a fragmented action. It's an action of all doctors across the country.
Mahakama ya Leba iliamuru serikali na madaktari kurejea na suluhu baada ya mikutano ya dharura iliyofaa kusaidia kutatua mgomo huu. Na kufikia sasa ni dhahiri shairi mikutano hiyo haikufua dafu.
We relaunched our strike yesterday. We've had a meeting with all the 10 branches of KMPDU. We started yesterday in the afternoon. We concluded this very afternoon. There is no branch we have not had a meeting with all our members. I can ascertain that through our Zoom interactive meetings, we've managed to reach close to 4,700 members because we are taking track out of the 5,600 members that we do have. So you can just tell the trajectory the strike is taking.
Haya yanajiri huku kaunti kama vile Trans Nzoia ikisema itaanza kuajiri madaktari kutoka nchi ya Uganda ili kusaidia kuziba pengo lililoachwa. Helen Aura, NTV.
Na mtazamaji, tupate mapumziko mafupi, tutakuwa narejea na sehemu ya pili ya afya yako. Usiende mbali.
Warembo, ni nini muhimu kwenu mnaponunua body lotion?
Smoothness, scent, glow.
Nunua Nice and Lovely body lotion. Inai-transform dry skin kuwa deeply nourished na kui-smoothed. Na fragrance nayo, wacha tu.
Now available in the 850 ml pack.
Chagua Kenya's #1 body lotion.
Prudential is now on M-Pesa app. Get a cancer cover from as low as 750 bob per month. Na pia, ukiwa admitted Hosi, unapata chapa daily. For each day hauko hustle, for as low as 1,250 bob per month. Unangoja nini? Prudential is now on M-Pesa app. Visit today na ujipange na life.
People come to me and they say they get discomfort when they have ice cream. Can you imagine that? Avoiding having cold ice cream. Sensodyne gives you long-lasting protections against sensitivity. And people come in and they're like, oh, it works. I can have ice cream and I'm not in any discomfort. I recommend Sensodyne because it works. It's brilliant.
Dark marks keep coming back. Any tips? Double the vitamin C power. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. Daily with the #1 vitamin C serum to correct dark marks. At night, new 10% vitamin C serum to help prevent their reappearance. Together, twice as fast dark mark reduction. The power duo. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. By Garnier, naturally.
Ataenda kucheza nje na hii baridi yote. Why did you let him go? Si atagonjeka.
Sasa asipofanya tizi, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways. And Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
It's fair to say Borussia Dortmund's season has resembled a roller coaster. BVB's performances in the Bundesliga have been inconsistent and lackluster, in contrast with their spirited showings in the Champions League. And while their unpredictability was evident over 180 minutes against Atletico Madrid, Dortmund are on the cusp of an unlikely Champions League final berth.
I tried looking out for you, bro. Hey, you see now? How's the heartburn? Look now, it's burning.
Do not hold back in any situation. Eno gets to work on the 6 symptoms of heartburn fast.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Na shukran sana kwa kuendelea kutazama taarifa za NTV jioni. Mtazamaji, katika sehemu hii ya afya yako hii leo mtazamaji, tunaangazia swala la kujifungua kwa kina mama, haswa tukiangazia kifaa maalum ambacho kinasaidia kina mama au kinatumiwa na wahudumu wa afya kuwasaidia kina mama wajawazito kujifungua hospitalini. Idadi ya kina mama wajawazito wanaofariki wakati wa kujifungua humu nchini ingali juu. Dhibitisho kwamba kuna haja ya serikali na wadau wengine kuimarisha huduma hasa zinazotolewa kwa kina mama wajawazito na watoto, hususan katika hospitali za umma. Kuna njia nyingi ambazo hutumiwa na wahudumu wa afya kuhakikisha kuwa mwanamke mjamzito anajifungua kwa njia nzuri na salama. Na hii leo katika afya yako tunaangazia njia moja ambayo wahudumu wa afya hutumia kumchochea mama kujifungua kwa kutumia kifaa maalum cha kufyonza, yani vacuum. Tazama.
Extraction ni njia ya kusaidia mama kujifungua ambacho tunatumia hiki kifaa kinaitwa kiwi cup ama kwa jina lingine ni vacuum extraction cup. Kichwa cha mtoto huwa kuna hii shimo ya nyuma tunaita posterior fontanelle na kuna hii shimo ya mbele huwa inaitwa anterior fontanelle. Hii kiwi cup huwa inawekwa roughly 6 centimeters from the anterior or 3 from the posterior. So huwa inaenda up kwa kama katikati. So ukiona kama inaguza tu kwa edge na hapo kwa edge. Na hiyo ni kupunguza complication kwa mtoto. Sababu hapa kumefunguka, ukiekelea hapa, then chance ya kuvuta hivyo content za ubongo na nini is very high. So unaweka hapo, kisha unaweka hiyo pressure, kisha once imeenda ikafika kwa hii sehemu ya green, na mama akiwa na contraction ndio mnavuta naye. Ukivuta hufai kuvuta zaidi ya mara 3. So either 3 pulls or 3 pop-offs. Pop-off inamaanisha ikikuwa hivyo halafu itoke. Hufai kufanya hii procedure for more than 20 minutes. Wakati unaweka pressure, unahakikisha hauzidishi hii alama ya green. It's a safety mark that tuko nayo. Ukiweka hii pressure iende kwa hii sehemu ya red, unapata pressure ambayo utaweka kwa kichwa iko too high. Na hiyo inaweza leta complication kwa mtoto. Sababu tunajua ukifanya hii procedure inaweza kataa kusucceed, so it can fail. Unafaa kuwa umeweka theater kwa tayari, so that in case ikifail, then unakimbia theater na unapata the whole team is ready.
Je, ni wakati upi mama mjamzito anahitaji kusaidiwa kujifungua kwa kutumia kifaa hiki maalum cha kufyonza, yani vacuum?
Hiki kifaa kinaweza hitajika kutumika. Ya kwanza ni kama mama amechoka, amekuwa akisukuma kwa muda mrefu na mtoto atoki. Ingine ni kama mtoto amechoka. Wakati mtoto amechoka ni rahisi kutumia hiki kifaa kumtoa kuliko kupeleka mama kumfanyia upasuaji. Conditions ambazo mama huwa haruhusiwi kusukuma sana, kama mama akiwa na ugonjwa wa moyo yenye tunaita cardiac disease, mama akiwa na very high blood pressure, ama akiwa na shida za ubongo ambazo ukimwambia asukume inaweza complicate your condition.
Mambo yapi yanafaa kuzingatiwa wakati wa kumchochea mama kujifungua kwa kifaa hiki cha kiwi?
Kutumia hiki kifaa, kwanza lazima mama awe amefunguka fully, na watu tunasema kufunguka ni 10 centimeters cervix. Kichwa lazima kiwe kimeshuka, at least ifike tunasema station 0. Lazima ukuwe na ujuzi wa kutumia hiki kifaa. So kama una ujuzi wa kutumia, then haufai kukitumia.
Ni wakati upi usiofaa kutumia kifaa hiki?
Mtoto amekuja kwa njia yoyote ingine other than head down first. So kama mtoto amekuja kama ameketi ama kwa cross, then hiki kifaa kifai kutumika, sababu lazima uweke hapa kwa kichwa. Mtoto ako na shida zozote ambazo kutumia hiki kifaa kinaweza leta madhara kama hydrocephalus, that kichwa ni kubwa sana, pia si mzuri kutumia hiki kifaa.
Idadi ya vifo vya kina mama wajawazito kwa sasa ni 355 kati ya watoto 1000 wanaozaliwa kila mwaka. Hii ina maana kuwa akina mama wajawazito 5000 wanafariki kila mwaka kutokana na ujauzito na matatizo yanayotokea wakati wa kujifungua. Na mtazamaji, baada ya taarifa hiyo tupate mapumziko mafupi. Nikirejea mtazamaji, tutakuwa tunaangazia sehemu ya uliza ujibiwe. Usiende mbali.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Kopa Cash reward ya 1000 inaweza kukukodolea macho. Kuna 100 daily winners.
Shinda cash na M-Kopa Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
Dark marks keep coming back. Any tips? Double the vitamin C power. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. Daily with the #1 vitamin C serum to correct dark marks. At night, new 10% vitamin C serum to help prevent their reappearance. Together, twice as fast dark mark reduction. The power duo. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. By Garnier, naturally.
To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
There is where you are and there is where you want to be. It takes a professional to make you one of the great professionals of tomorrow. Can we define these professionals? They are inspirational. Professionals that attain world-class skills in nursing, counseling and physiotherapy. Professionals of young minds with big and revolutionary ideas. Professionals that attain first-class skills in community health, clinical medicine and medical laboratory. Professionals of excellence in imaging science, human nutrition and dietetics. Join us today and become a professional. Thika School of Medical and Health Sciences. Nurturing professional excellence.
If you want to be free and live like a child again, why stress about germs? Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Imperfections, blackheads. Try Garnier's Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, powered by salicylic acid and purified charcoal to reduce pimple-causing germs by 99.5%. One product, 3 uses for a pure skin. Garnier Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, #1 in South Africa, by Garnier, naturally.
Naam, karibu tena mtazamaji katika sehemu ya Uliza Ujibiwe, sehemu ambayo nina daktari hapa katika studio, Daktari Felix Oindi ambaye ni mtaalamu wa afya uzazi katika hospitali ya Aga Khan. Atakuwa anatusaidia tu kujibu maswali muhimu kuhusiana na swala hili, ambapo tunaangazia kifaa maalum cha kumsaidia mzazi au mwanamke mjamzito kujifungua. Kifaa hicho cha kufyonza, yani kwa lugha ya kimombo vacuum. Moja kwa moja tu tukiuliza au tukiangazia maswali hayo, mwelekezi wangu.
Kwa majina naitwa Juliet Omelo kutoka Bungoma County na nina swali kwa daktari, na swali langu ni kati ya mbinu hii ya vacuum delivery na upasuaji, ni gani bora zaidi kwa kumsaidia mama kujifungua?
Naam, daktari, tupe jibu.
Asante sana kwa swali hilo Juliet. Mbinu hii hutumika kwa kusaidia mama asiende kwa upasuaji. Kwa hivyo huwa tunaitumia wakati ule tunajua mtoto anafaa kutoka na anafaa kutoka kwa muda huu na si kungoja dakika 20 30 ambazo wakati unaweza pata mtoto amepata shida ya ubongo. Kwa hivyo vacuum delivery haifai kuwa substitute ya cesarean section. Tunaitumia kuprevent cesarean section.
Kwa hivyo ni swala ambalo labda mhudumu wa afya anafaa kuwa anazingatia kwanza kabla kufikiria kwenda katika upasuaji.
Yes, so ni recommendation ya healthcare providers ni unajaribu vacuum kwanza, ikikataa ndio unaenda kwa upasuaji, lakini lazima uhakikishe kama unaijaribu, unaangalia kama unaweza faulu. Ukipata wakati wa kujaribu, kuna training tunafanya kuhakikisha unaweza jua kama iko likely to succeed or not, then there is no need to attempt it. But the main aim is to prevent going for cesarean section.
Namshukran sana. Tukaangaza swali nyingine.
Jina langu ni Deborah Kisongochi, nina swali kwa daktari. Je, kutumia mbinu ya vacuum delivery inaweza tatiza uwezo wa mtoto kuzungumza au kuwa na utindio wa ubongo au kuwa na cerebral palsy? Asante daktari.
Okay. Asante sana kwa swali hilo pia. Huwa haisababishi mtoto kuwa na shida ya akili ama shida ya cerebral palsy. Lakini wakati mama amekuwa kwa hiyo process ya kujifungua kwa muda mrefu, unaweza pata ubongo imepata madhara. Kwa hivyo wakati mama amekuwa kwa hiyo labor for a long time, tunaita prolonged labor, akili inaweza kuwa affected. Kwa hivyo vacuum ni kupunguza huo muda wa kukaa kwa labor ili mtoto asipate hiyo shida ya akili. Kwa hivyo vacuum huwa haina madhara kwa ubongo wa mtoto na haitasababisha mtoto achelewe kuongea. Kama mtoto atachelewa kuongea baada ya kufanywa vacuum, then labda tayari alikuwa ashapata hiyo shida kabla azaliwe.
Namshukran sana. Tukiangaza swali nyingine.
Kwa majina naitwa Miriam Nyunja. Je, mbinu hii daktari ina athari kwa kichwa cha mtoto, haswa umbo wa kichwa?
Okay,
labda tukiangazia swala hili, labda nafikiria kwa sababu ile kufyonza labda ndio anaashiria.
Okay. Hii wakati umetumia vacuum huwa hai-affect shape ya mtoto. Kwa hivyo shape ya mtoto itabaki vile vile. Kitu ambayo tunaona wakati mwingine ni anaweza pata uvimbe kidogo, tunaita cephalohematoma, but hiyo ni ya hii nyama tu, huwa hai-affect mifupa. Mifupa ndio changia umbo la kichwa, si hiyo nyama, the soft tissues. Kwa hiyo uvimbe upotea within a few days.
Kwa hivyo hakuna kisa ambacho labda mtoto ameathirika kwa kutumia kifaa hicho?
Not in terms of affecting the shape of the head. Yes.
Na tukiangazia tu labda afya ya mama na mtoto, labda kwa sasa kwa yule mwanamke ambaye ni mjamzito na yuko tayari kujifungua, akienda hospitali na kuelezwa mambo kama haya labda katika mbinu ya kujifungua, utamshauri vipi haswa kabla ya kufanya upasuaji? Kwa sababu tunaona katika hospitali kadha wa kadha utapata ukifika mwanamke mjamzito tayari unakimbishwa kule katika chumba cha upasuaji.
Ni vizuri kwa mama mjamzito kuwa anaenda clinic zake za kawaida ili tuweze kujua kama ako na shida zozote ambazo zinaweza leta madhara kwa mtoto. Akishafikisha siku zake za kujifungua, ni vizuri pia ajifungulie hospitali, sababu bado it's 2024, bado tunapata wamama ambao wanajifungulia nyumbani na hiyo inasababisha madhara kwa mtoto ambayo mengine hatuwezi jua kwa sasa. Pia wakati umefika wakati wa kujifungua ama labor, ni vizuri ukiwa kwa hospitali ukuwe monitored vizuri ili tukipata kuna dalili za mtoto kuwa anaanza kupata any side effect kama low oxygen, then wakati huo ni vizuri mtoto atolewe. Na kama kutolewa ni through cesarean section, kama ako mbali na kufunguka fully, hiyo ni sawa. Lakini kishafika wakati ule mama ako tayari kutoa mtoto, kusukuma mtoto atoke, which means ako fully dilated, kwa wakati huo decision hukuwa ni which one will get the baby out fastest kama mtoto ako affected. Kwa hivyo tukipata kama for example tunaona hiyo roho ya mtoto inaanza kuwa affected, either inashuka sana ama inapanda sana, then huwa tuko na muda mfupi sana wa kutoa mtoto, most of the time about 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. Na wakati huo unapata ni haraka zaidi kutoa huyo mtoto na hicho kifaa cha kufyonza vacuum kuliko kumpeleka operation. Na hiyo ndio uzuri wa kujifungulia kwa hospitali, sababu tunaweza make hizo decisions kuliko ukiwa nyumbani, then unapata mtoto labda ana delayed milestones, haezi ongea vile mmoja wetu alikuwa ameuliza. Then tukianza kufuata tunapata labda hiyo shida ilifanyika wakati wa kujifungua.
Na shukran sana Daktari Felix Oindi ambaye ni mtaalamu wa afya uzazi hospitali ya Aga Khan. Mtazamaji, ni hayo tu kufikia sasa katika sehemu ya afya yako. Shukran sana kwa muda wako na kwa wote waliofanikisha taarifa za NTV jioni. Shukran sana. Naitwa Nuru Abdul Aziz. Alamsiki.
This is NTV.
Jenny, what are you up to at this time?
I'm just doing this for my friends at school who do not have lunch.
You should have told me.
When your kids learn from you, you're giving them a great start. Prestige Margarine. It all starts with a great start. Now comes in the original and vanilla flavor.
It ain't easy to be tough, to stand tall when your legs are about to give up. But being tough is the only option. I am a toughie.
Bata Toughies. Durable and comfortable shoes to match your inner toughness.
Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion. Now with 5-in-1 Complete Care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin. Step out in confidence with our most complete care from the world's #1 skincare brand.
Bringing families together with love to honor cultural traditions with great taste. This Ramadan, celebrate the moments and meals that bring us together. Wishing you peace, joy and unity. Ramadan Kareem.
This is NTV.
Good evening. Glad that you could join us. My name is Zana Bondati, and over the next 1 hour, we're going to be talking about climate smart agriculture and how women are involved in this space. Not only involved, but how women are making money through climate smart agriculture. Now, to have this conversation, we've got lovely ladies joining us from West Pokot County, as well as an expert on climate smart agriculture. And you can share your thoughts or comments or your questions on climate smart agriculture, and also your participation, particularly if you're a woman. And I'd like to introduce them before I tell you what else we'll be talking about. Right next to me is Dr. Barak Okoba. Barak is a climate smart agriculture expert with the FAO office in Kenya, and he has lots of years of experience in that area. He'll be telling us a little bit more about that. And next to Dr. Okoba, we have Mercy Tomko, who's the program manager of the Women Enterprise, Women Economic Empowerment through Climate Smart Agriculture program, which is based in West Pokot County. And next to her, we have Leah Okore, who's the country director, Kenya country director of Village Enterprise. Welcome, ladies. And last but not least, you have Priscilla Chobet from West Pokot County government. She is the chief finance officer, joining us from West Pokot to tell us about why we have these lovely ladies from West Pokot. Is because what we're going to be talking about over the next hour particularly touches on West Pokot County, and they'll be telling us about why particularly West Pokot County. But before we get into those details, take a look at this video.
kwa jamii yetu ya Pokot. Hairuhusiwi mama ongee mbele ya watu. Msichana hata ifai aende shule. Msichana ni mali ya nini? Ya boma.
Wakati ya kwanza kazi ya mama ilikuwa ni jikoni peke yake.
Kitambo watu wajakuwa kuja kutufunza, maisha yetu ilikuwa haijafika mahali. Nilikuwa sijajua vile nalisha hata ng'ombe, hata nini kuku, hata watoto kwenda shule ni ngumu.
Huku kwetu tuko na shida ya maji, na kwa sababu anga pia imebadilika ikafanya watu kutoendelea kulima, watu wanaongojea maji. Na maji especially huku inaweza kuja mara 2 kwa mwaka ama mara 1. Kikubwa ile wizi sasa ilituletea ni kwamba ilituweka katika kikundi na tukapata mafunzo. Vile tulipata mafunzo ikawa kwamba kumbe tunaweza saidiana kwa hii kazi. Mwingine hata anaweza kuwa anaenda mtoni kutoa maji, mwingine anabadilisha maji huku shamba, na watu wakapata kuelewana kwa nyumba.
Our extension officers walikuja kwetu na wakatufunza jinsi ya kulima. Wanatuambia tuchukue ile hybrid yenye inakabiliana na mabadiliko ya hali ya anga, na mvua saa zingine ikipotea tunafanya maji ya sprinkler.
Tukapelekwa tua Kitepo, tukafunzwa kwa huko jinsi ya kulisha ng'ombe, jinsi ya kulisha kuku, basic ya kitunguu. Vitunguu yetu inaiva kuiva.
Hapo kwanza tu kujua mambo ya savings. Saa hizi vile mambo ya wizi sasa ilipokuja, mama alijua sasa kuweka pesa hata kama ni kidogo.
In partnership with the UN Women, FAO and the county government of West Pokot, we have been able to train, and what we have seen, they have adopted the practices to see women and communities who are actually empowered to get out of extreme poverty, to have the tools of trade, to be able to sustain the gains that they have made from this program.
Kwa mapato yangu ya kitunguu nilipata karibu 1500 kwa familia. Sasa alinisaidia sana. Niko na watoto, msichana ako Machakos KMTC, nikamlipia. Huyu kijana ako kidato cha 3, nikalipia. Ikabakia sasa nilijisaidia sasa.
Kwa grupu kubwa tulichukua mradi mmoja wa kufuka vifaranga, na capital yetu tuliamua ya kwamba ile kutokana na ile saving yetu tukaenda kwa box tukachukua pesa 57,600 na tukanunua vifaranga 300, na baada ya mwezi huo mmoja tunauza kila kifaranga 300, na kwa hapo tunapata pesa 90,000. Hiyo faida tunaweka kando na tunaanza tena kununua zingine.
Women economic empowerment through climate smart agriculture. Anisikie nimesema asante sana kwa kunisupport, nimefaidika, nimekuwa hata watoto yangu wamepata afya mzuri.
Such lovely insights from the ladies there in West Pokot. And I would like to start with the First Lady actually. And Mercy, I'd like to throw this question to you. The First Lady said, huku kwetu mwanamke ni mali. Huku kwetu mila yetu hairuhusu mwanamke kufanya vitu mingi sana. You're from West Pokot. You've grown up in West Pokot County. Tell us a little bit about that, how it hinders economic empowerment for women.
Thank you, Zainab. I think by saying mwanamke ni mali, that means a woman is the possession of the husband. And technically, West Pokot is a patriarchal society. We are faced by quite a number of challenges. Women are not supposed to go to school. There's gender bias where boys are taken to school while girls remain behind, especially when resources are scarce. So by saying women, mwanamke ni mali, that means they will get married off and cows will come. They will exchange you for cows. And so that has hindered economic empowerment because it is one-sided. We depend on these men who are not very resourceful to get that source of income at the household level.
Leah, picking up on the same point, how have you seen this perception hinder the women's capacity to be involved in agricultural activities?
Thank you, Zainab, for that. And I think it's really exciting to hear Mercy, who comes from the county, speak through those experiences that she's lived herself. So I think what we have seen is that women, before the program that we've implemented with them, you'd find that they, most of the time, don't have a source of livelihood. They have never had, you know, started any business. Their families are really, you know, they are struggling with the basic needs such as food, taking their children to school. Accessing healthcare is really, really a struggle. And because, as Mercy has said, a woman being a property to the man or the community, she doesn't have any agency to start any business, to own any land, you know, to make any decision, including decisions such as what needs to be cooked in the household. And so this has really, really affected not only her capacity to do anything for herself, but also her self-image, her self-worth. And we have seen women start, you know, felling trees to get charcoal, to sell
because
charcoal.
They have nothing else to do.
Because they have nothing else to do. And they end up fetching as little as 200 shillings a month to take care of their families. And obviously, you know how that affects you know, exacerbates the effects of climate change.
So better I'll come to you shortly. Let me just skip back to Dr. Okoba here. Tell us a little bit about how climate change affects women, particularly in the agriculture space.
Well, climate change affects everyone, but more specifically women, who are the main agents in terms of farming. And we have observed and seen that because every food that you receive on your plate, it must have passed through a woman, not just at the kitchen level, but at the farm level. Having considered that, this program understood that we needed to build their resilience, we needed to build their capacity, and we understood the crop failures, we understood, you know, how much times they have, how long they have to walk to go and fetch for water and all other the family needs. So in reality, climate change affects the woman significantly. And that's why this intervention through this program was developed. Yeah.
Now, Chebet, did you grow up in West Pokot yourself?
Yes, I did.
You did? So when those women were talking, you could see yourself there?
Yes.
How have you navigated it yourself?
I started off as a head of budget in 2014, and one of the things that we saw, our budgets are anchored in public participation. So when we go for public participation, we realize that women will sit in the farthest corner and not say a word for the whole day. That is the first year that we did public participation. So we realized that their voice is not heard anywhere. Now, when you look at the programs that we have to budget, because West Pokot is historically a marginalized county, so the priorities will come out, would be roads, infrastructure projects, etc. So things like incubators and purchase of sheep and goats, those will never come out as a priority in the budget. So we realized that the easiest way is to have partners to come into place, and that's why we really appreciate this program that was funded by WEE, Women in Economic Empowerment. It has assisted us to get into the wards and get the women out of their shell. These retrogressive cultural practices that we've had predominantly in most of the northern eastern counties are now falling out of place. The woman's voice is heard. The woman is contributing to economic livelihoods, not only in their households, but now they're also contributing towards the county. So you see beautiful things like they can actually, they can sell their goats, their sheep, or their produce, and we can be able to collect cess. Cess is how counties do on-source revenue collection. So women are also contributing to the county contribution. And they always say the person with the shilling has a voice. So the man used to have the shilling, so he had the voice. But now the woman has the voice because she has a shilling also to contribute.
But given that the perception still holds that this woman belongs to the man, he doesn't take the money from her?
And one of the things that this program has done very well is community sensitization. To get in and change something, you have to be in and explain it over and over, and say it's beneficial to both parties. You heard the man who explained he gave his own testimony. He said now he understands that a woman can help him to be able to take care of some of the responsibilities of the household because she's a contributor. So he will not necessarily take the money away from her, but they will help to now decide this one will go to the school fees, so the children are going to school, and by the children going to school, they are not remaining. Education is one of, we rank almost the lowest in education in the index. So our children now going to school and going to university. She mentioned one of her children going to Machakos.
KMTC,
yes, KMTC. That child, that girl or that boy is going to come back and be a productive member to that community and to that household. So the men are starting to appreciate that, yes, it's not just good for the woman to cook and clean every day.
It benefits
but
the whole family.
Exactly, exactly.
Leah, in some communities, you would need to go through the man to get to the woman. And this is a project that targets women exclusively. Did you have to go through the men to get to the women? Like, did you need to convince them why they need to allow their wives to participate?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Zainab. And one of the exciting pieces of the poverty graduation program that we implement at Village Enterprise and adapting it to ensure that we are addressing gender issues is during the targeting process. That is the process when we are identifying the extremely poor households who are vulnerable to poverty and other issues in the community. We first, once we identify the household, we invite the men to be part and parcel of the decision making, not just the men, but the entire household. Anyone above the age of 18, to just come and decide who needs to participate in the program. So by so doing, the men feel part and parcel of the decision makers and see the program as not only benefiting the women, but also benefiting themselves. And so we do a rigorous process of ensuring, as I think Chebet has said, ensuring that at the community level, we also sensitize them on the importance of this program and the importance of having their women invest in this, because you know when you invest in a woman, you just don't invest on the household, but not only on the generations to come, but also you know, you invest on the entire community. And I think we have seen men come in and see the value of the program that we implement, and it's really exciting when you see the husbands help them with, you know, this heavy lift kind of business, you know, jobs when they are running the businesses. They help them in marketing because of, you know, the issues around when you go to the markets, particularly for the pastoralists who need to sell their livestock, their goats and sheep in the market. And we see them coming to help in negotiations at the market level, taking some, you know, getting some of their produce and helping at the farm level. So we have really seen a lot of a shift from, you know, being against the woman, but also it's because they can see what is coming to the table. Now the family, some of the men say, I'm never nagged anymore to get money for food, because food is always served, right? The children are going to school and the woman has that capacity. So that has really, really, you know, when you show the man the money, they're going to be excited about that. Exactly.
Yes. So we need to take a very quick break. When we come back now, we'll talk about the benefits of climate smart agriculture in West Pokot County, given that West Pokot is one of the arid and semi-arid counties in Kenya. We'll be right back after this break.
For an exclusive 3x skin effect, try Nivea Men Deep powered by black carbon. For 48-hour deep moisture, a fresh skin feel, and a long-lasting masculine fragrance. Make an impact with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion. Try Nivea Men Deep Roll On for 72-hour antibacterial sweat protection.
New Downy perfume collection. Sometimes I need a scent to keep me calm amongst the chaos, or a light fragrance that keeps me fresh in the heat, or a perfume that feels elegant all day and into the night, lasting longer than expensive perfumes. New Downy Lavender Calm, Sunrise Fresh, and sweet elegance, freshness that inspires confidence. Your dreams have come true. Try it for only 20 shillings.
From different worlds, come a trio with a shared destiny.
Nikulinde na ikuongoze.
Where will the fashion runway take them?
Mimi nitachunga maua yetu vizuri sana hadi wewe narudi.
Family business is everything.
The Beauty and the Beats. Shanga, starting 25 April at 8 p.m. on Maisha Magic Plus.
Najua nyama hiyo inaonekana laini, lakini pengine si hivyo wakati unakiungulia. Unakumbuka kilichofanyika wakati uliopita? Unajijaribu mwenyewe. Nilijaribu kukujali. Acha tuone umbali utakaofika. Unaona sasa kiungulia kinakupelekaje? Ona sasa, kinakuchoma.
Usiugue katika hali yoyote. Ino inafanya kazi haraka kuondoa dalili 6 za kiungulia.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
We can't wait to hear your story. No story is too big or too small. Build your story with an Absa One account. Earn 10% interest per annum on your savings. Download the Absa Kenya app to open an account. Your story matters.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are talking about how to empower women economically through climate-smart agriculture. And we are focusing particularly on West Pokot County about a project that has been running on women economic empowerment or climate-smart agriculture. This project has been running in West Pokot County. It is also in Laikipia and Kitui County, but today's focus is particularly on West Pokot County. So you're welcome to this discussion, and you can still follow us online at Zain Wandati, Z-E-Y-N Wandati at NTV Kenya, and we'll sample some of your comments. Now, Dr. Okoba, let's talk a little bit about the nitty-gritties of climate-smart agriculture. West Pokot County is dry. West Pokot County is not traditionally an agricultural land. They are pastoralists. So the type of agriculture they practice is livestock keeping. But in the video we've seen, they're doing farming, they're doing mixed. Tell us a bit about how to design these interventions for a land that is not traditionally agricultural land.
Thank you, Zainabu. Of course, Kenya is an agricultural country, and both livestock and crop are the mainstay of our economy. But remember that when climate change shocks and crises occur, the livestock farmers are affected significantly, and most of them, as like in West Pokot, they will migrate. But remember, they have families, and therefore there is some potential in terms of crop cultivation in West Pokot. And so when this project, under the support of KOICA, Korean International Development Agency, and in partnership with FAO and UN Women, was conceived, is after clear understanding that there's food insecurity, nutrition insecurity, and so we came up with a project that would make sure that the interventions that we're introducing will somehow overcome the challenges these farmers have towards crop production and livestock. And so that's why we thought of introducing climate-smart agriculture practices or interventions. Climate-smart agriculture would normally consider that whatever you are doing must increase productivity and also income, which is a critical ingredient in people's livelihood. But most important is that we must adapt and build, you know, resilience to climate change that is with us here. But most important, because of our global interest, is that all the practices and we are doing on the farm must also try to reduce emissions, if not eliminate them, you know, remove them, the greenhouse gases. So the climate smart agriculture was conceived, and we worked with the communities to identify which are the value chains they would be interested in, that are conversant and they would consider women, you know, interest, so that the gender component is integrated in every intervention we are introducing. And it's at that point that now we came up with interventions that are women friendly. They will give women more time to do other chores of the family, but make sure that women can also make money.
What are some of these interventions? So
some of the interventions that women in West Pokot observed, and also having done the gross margin analysis, most of the women who live, for example, in the Rio area of West Pokot, alongside the River Swam, preferred vegetable production. They preferred poultry keeping. They preferred small livestock like goats and sheep, but they also preferred beekeeping, which is modern technologies that they would want to adopt. But having understood that all those things have their own challenges when there's drought, we now introduce the better production of the ingredients that will drive poultry, will drive beekeeping, and that's how we brought in technologies like production of vegetables, beekeeping. We have intensified tree planting, and the county government is actually subsidizing all tree seedlings in West Pokot as a result of the intervention of this project. We have also realized that energy can come from solar. Women would go for water very far to come and water their vegetables. So we have supported women with the water pans. We have supported the women group, and they are actually investing themselves in digging shallow wells. And now with the solar pump, they are able to water their vegetables and also for home consumption.
So the interventions include irrigated agriculture?
Yes, among many other things like gala goods, which we are focusing on because we understand the culture of the West Pokot men. As long as the animal is big and is good for the market, they will take it from the women. So we have focused on gala goat and the doper sheep, but women are limiting their effort towards at the level of breeding, so that they are able to distribute these animals among themselves. So they sell them when they are small, and not a market where men will want to convert this into meat. But most important, poultry, we have also introduced incubators, solar-based run incubators.
So they have to work in a group?
Yes, they are working in a group. They are collecting eggs. They are able to transit 100 eggs to 100 chicks without any death. And for that reason, the communities are now economically empowered out of these interventions.
Interesting. Masi, now to come back to you, looking again about the cultural practices and the cultural perceptions, and knowing that women all over the world provide the bulk of the labor in the agriculture industry, but do not own the land, they get the least benefits. They don't own the land, they don't have access to, maybe if they wanted a loan in order to grow their business, they have no access to the ownership of this land. How is this project helping change some of these perceptions?
Thank you, Zainab. So through this project that is funded by COICA, implemented jointly by UN Women FAO, Village Enterprise, and the County Government of West Pokot, we have been able to address gender issues through capacity building, because this is a society where when we started these interventions, we would sit in groups with men and women, but women would sit at the farthest end. They're not allowed to mingle with the men. They're not allowed to speak up for themselves. But slowly we bring the men into the conversations. We train them on gender issues, and slowly they are picking up, they are standing up for themselves, their voices are being heard. We also try to address those issues of women ownership to land, women in decision making. We have Selina, we have seen the story of Selina and Monica. Selina, when they got married, she could not decide. It's only her husband who could decide where what crop could be planted that year, those major decisions, if a cow could be sold. She told us that it's only the husband who could make that decision. But today, when you speak with Monica and Selina, they sit down at a round table. When they go to their groups and do savings and even able to access loans, they'd come and do joint decisions on what are we planting this year, are we doing crop rotation, as Barak has highlighted the climate smart techniques. And those are the kind of interventions that are the kind of impacts that we want to see with those women. In terms of loans, we are linking them through the project to market actors. We have built their capacity with banks, cooperative societies, and so on and so forth. So they're able to access loans as a group and even at an individual level. So they are empowered economically in terms of accessing loans, expanding businesses, and so on and so forth.
Do they work as one large group or in smaller groups part of the project?
They started working as a larger group, but slowly as the money increases, you'll find someone goes their way to open their own businesses, but still they meet up every week to save, and they do the larger businesses like gala goat keeping, onion farming. They're still working as a group and also individually.
How many women do you have involved? We
have worked with 697 women. That is 80% of the total 809 households that the project targeted. So direct beneficiaries are 809 farmers, indirectly slightly over 8,000.
Okay. Now, Leah, coming to you. Some of the things that this project has been running since 2021 and it's coming to an end, right? And some of the projects that these women are involved in include crop farming, and we just came out of a terrible drought. How did this project fare against the drought?
Yeah, thank you so much, Zainab. So when we talk about the interventions that we implement with the households that we select at the beginning, we not only want to help these households escape extreme poverty, but we want to create resilience and self-reliance at the household level and also at the community level. And we know that year in, year out, there's a lot of shocks and stresses in the system, including the drought. I think we had the worst drought in years.
Yes.
And so what we do is that after we identify these households, we help them form groups of 30, which we call the business savings groups, or in other words, the village savings and lending associations. It's within these associations that they create social capital, and they are able to leverage, they start saving in a group, and when they start saving, they save for emergencies, regular savings and savings with a purpose, which is really saving to increase assets, both productive assets and unproductive assets. And I think even building on to the point that Mercy was talking about around having a pool of money that they put together, and they're able to access that just before they are ready to access loans from the financial institutions in the system. They have a place they can go and borrow and return while they keep saving. But also we provide them with, we help them form groups of 3s, and that is one business group. But then we realized that for this particular program, we needed them to conduct their business at the VSLA level, that is the Village Savings and Lending Association level. And so when they do this, they are able to diversify their businesses. So when there's drought and I think we saw a lot of livestock died, and you could not be able to start livestock and agricultural businesses. So they were able to go and start other businesses, especially the retail businesses. We could see that would cover them, would become a tool for covering them, or for them to cope with the shocks within the system, so that they could continue generating the incomes.
So for them, the drought impact on them was not as bad?
it was there, but they had the tools to bounce back from that drought. And as I think as Barak talked about the resilient breeds of sheep and goats that were able to withstand the drought, or the drought tolerant seeds that they were able to build to plant, those were able to get a yield out of that.
I see Dr. Koba wants to jump in there.
Yes. I think in addition to what Leah has just mentioned, especially when drought strikes, and of course Kenya, as you have known, we walk in and walk out of drought. Right now we are on another extreme, but most distressing for a family is when the drought hits. You need food and the livestock is there. And as the women are supporting their husbands to be more in agro-pastoralists, because that is the transition we want to move from pastoral to agro-pastoral, then eventually sedentary agriculture's land becomes smaller. What most of these women have adopted is preservation of vegetables, through solar dry. They are also planting hay or grass fodder, and they are able to preserve it for drier seasons. So these are resilience development that we have realized that the farmers are now able to do, and they are able to access food throughout the season or the year because of some of the interventions.
In all the years that the program has been running, you haven't had any of your members say, "I've been seriously affected by this drought, please help me"?
It is changing. Of course, initially adoption process was slower, but I can assure you that second and third and to date, fourth year, those women are well covered in terms of income because their poultry are kept within zero grazing units within their farms. And income, if you look at the income at household level, both from different interventions or value chains they are working on, it has doubled from $4 per day, based on the recent study we did, to something close to $8 to $9 per day. Yeah.
Now we need to take another very quick commercial break. Now when you come back, we'll talk about the policy, what all this means for the policies and what lessons other counties can take from this project. Do not go away.
Ataenda kucheza nje na hii baridi yote. Why did you let him go? Si atagonjeka.
Sasa asipofanya tizi, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Warembo, ni nini muhimu kwenu mnaponunua body lotion? Smoothness, scent, glow. Nunua Nice and Lovely body lotion. Inai-transform dry skin kuwa deeply nourished na kui-smoothed. Na fragrance nayo, wacha tu. Now available in the 850 ml pack. Chagua Kenya's #1 body lotion.
Introducing a new range of Royco spices. An explosion of rich, authentic taste. Spicika na Royco. Making those good meals great.
I trust Sunlight 2-in-1 washing powder to give my clothes a sensational clean and an uplifting fragrance. Sunlight. More than you expect.
Welcome back. This is the final few minutes to the end of this discussion, talking about climate change, agriculture, and women. and how the three are related or how the three work together, particularly in West Pokot County, and how this has helped transform the economic position and the economic capacities of these women in West Pokot County. Now, Chebet, I'd like to come to you. Looking at how this project has been running over the years, and you talked about how in the beginning you do public participation as a county and the women would isolate themselves and would not say a word all through. Following the success, I think you'd call it a success for this project. Following the success of this project, are there any lessons that the county would be taking in terms of policy development for the county so that you have more women embedded in the policies in the county?
Thank you very much, Zainab. I would like to, before I answer that question, just add on to something on the previous question about sustainability and availability of financing or loans. The county government, through the leadership of our governor, Simon Kachapin, has Biashara Mashinani Fund, which is a corporate development fund. So we are now allowing these groups, these corporate groups within the county to be able to access additional funding, which is not, it's less collateralized as the bank funding. So I think, and it's 3%, so it's really minimal in terms of interest. So I think that will be able to help sustain the program even after this program closes. The county government can pick up on that. But speaking on the policy directions, we are really grateful that this program has been able to give us funding for 3 policies, which is a climate change policy, the gender mainstreaming policy, and the gender guidelines. So we need to anchor our budget processes through some other additional policies. Like I said, the budgets are, the needs are very high and the availability of resources is very limited. For example, our county, we do some social protection programs like bursary program to ensure all children transition from primary to secondary education. So we find that things around gender and issues of women is not prioritized as much as it should be. However, with a policy in place, which is why we have the gender policy thanks to this program, now as we prepare our budgets, we know that the budget has to give a certain percentage, ring fence a certain percentage of money towards women programs. Additionally, we're able to, with the other programs that we do, for example, in agriculture, we do perennial seeds. And initially it used to be just first come, first served, whoever wants to be given or whichever farmer wants to get that seed will get. But now we do targeting. So we're able to see who, through the poverty graduation index that this program has put into place, we're able to see in that ward who is the most vulnerable of the vulnerable. So those ones are prioritized first. So within a county program, the people who are most marginalized are the ones who get the first priority in the funding and also the distribution of seeds, for example, which is a program that we run. So being able to have a policy that guides also helps us with the decision makers, who are not only the politicians and also the county assembly. As you know, with the county budgets, final approval is the county assembly. So when they see there's a gender policy, we present the gender policy with a budget proposal and say, in this gender policy, this budget is supposed to be responsive to gender in this matter. And then we identify the programs that we have put aside for the women. So it has helped us to be able to now get more programs that are sensitive towards people living with disabilities, women and youth. The youth and the children are another voice that is also not heard, but by benefiting the women, you take care of the youth and the child's voice. So our budgets have become very gender sensitive and climate sensitive throughout the years, which is something that I can give credit to this program.
So given again the perceptions of wanawake hawana sauti, wanawake ni mali, do you see a situation whereby you might also need to sensitize the county assembly itself so that you don't design the policy and then it gets shut down in the house?
Yes. Luckily for us, through this Village Enterprise program, they have done sensitization for both the county assembly, at least the committee members that are involved, and the county executive. And then we are very blessed to have a governor who shows a lot of leadership and appreciation for such programs. So he's able to lend a voice, and once his voice is put into play, then automatically the assembly comes and sees the benefit that we have. And then we have a very good working relationship with the assembly, so that some things, some programs that come from the ground especially, those are programs that are prioritized all the way through the end. So as a county, we have been very, very lucky to have a leadership that is actually cooperating. Some counties might not be very lucky. That's why we need to anchor this in policies. Policies will be able to guide the direction of counties. Thank you.
Leah, what would you say you have learned as the country director in the time that this project has been running?
So I think the first thing that I have learned is investing in women. As I said earlier, really transforms communities. And I think we have listened to the stories, we have watched the videos where without addressing, we can do all these economic empowerment programs, but without addressing gender dynamics, gender issues, without addressing climate issues, all these gains that we make and the strides we make can all be watered down with the effects of climate change. And when we talk about gender issues, it's not just at the household level, but we have to think about it at the community level, at the government level, and also globally when we think about gender issues, because a woman can be empowered, she can get the money, she can start a business and get the money, but when she gets to her house, the money is taken away, or she's not able to make decisions on how to spend this money. And that really waters down everything. The other thing is the importance of involving, when we talk about women empowerment, it doesn't stand alone. We have to involve the men. And involving the men is not just as a flower on the side just to say we are involving the men, but really making sure that they come in at the beginning and they are working with their women throughout the process. One of the things that really excites me is when I hear them say, and this is across all the programs we implement, and I've also had other partners say that the love at the home has increased. And that can be a proxy to gender-based violence has gone down. The women's agency has increased, and that moves to the well-being of the household and the community. The children are well fed, they are going to school, you know, they are accessing proper health care and so on. And that really leads to investing in generations to come. So it's really exciting to see that it is important to mainstream gender issues within the program, but also at the national and county government level.
Masi, you know, there's usually this perception that watu wa mashinani hawajui climate change ni nini, yet they live with it. So when you talk to the women about climate change and why they need to embrace climate smart agriculture and why they need to participate in this project, how do you explain it to them?
Through the project, we have our trainers who are from the respective areas of implementation, and they do understand the local dialect very well. So when you train them, we offer the trainings in the local dialect, in Pokot language, and where we have a trainer or a facilitator who doesn't understand or speak in Pokot dialect, we get a translator, and they are able to explain that to them quite well. And they understand and they appreciate.
Yourself growing up in the county, how have you seen the impacts of climate change?
For West Pokot County, different areas are affected differently by climate change. You have the hilly areas where there is loose soil that leads to mudslides and landslides. Luckily enough, I do not come from those areas, but it has really affected, especially the 2019 Nyarkulian mudslide. It really affected women, and one of the women affected are those who reside in Batei area, where it is one of our implementation areas. And through the county government, and we appreciate the leadership, the current leadership, they were able to be sensitized and they moved away from those areas. And again, through the project, their capacity has been built on what the lessons learned and what to do and what not to do when it comes to effects of climate change.
Barak, this program also runs in 2 other counties. How would you compare West Pokot and the other counties that are implementing?
Well, in terms of comparison, first let me say when we started, West Pokot was poorly performing in many aspects, especially when we are targeting women, and the rule was, or the criteria was, that over 80%, 80 or above 80% of the people we are supporting must be women. And because of that, it was very difficult to take off in West Pokot until we started all the sensitization. But to date, if you look at the jump in terms of where they were to where they are right now, I think West Pokot has achieved a lot in the first front is that women have a voice. One of the conviction that UN Women Organization of the UN agency of UN rather, the UN Women convinced me is that if we work together with FAO who are more on production and productivity issues, and we bring in and gender every effort you are going to make, we will ensure that women have a voice. And Zainab, I can tell you to date, the issues on conflicts, on resources, we have reduced it from 46 to 22% in West Pokot. And I'm specifically talking of Rio, Ward, Batei, and Swam. And for me, that is a big jump.
These are resources like water.
Yes, and also income, disputes around money, you know, as you have already been told. We have also observed that 100% of men are supporting women's effort in agriculture. And we are also seeing that in terms of savings, these women, especially in West Pokot, the groups, the average savings they have achieved, they have moved from an average of 200,000 per year to 1.3 million per year right now. So in terms of the change, West Pokot has performed very well. But of course, other counties like Kitui, which is also severely affected by drought, there's quite a lot of effort. Even when there was drought, Zainab, I can assure you, you went with, I think the rain only, we experienced rain for a week, but those women were able to harvest something, vegetables, sorghum, because they were intensively using reaping, zai-pits, and all other conservation practices that ensured
What are zai-pits?
Okay, zai-pit is a, let me say, it's just maybe 2 by 2, a hole of 2 by 2, which you dig, and you also go down almost 2 feet, and you put in manure. So all the water that falls into that pit
is stored there.
Is caught, and the nutrients that you will have put there cannot be moved away from that spot.
So the plant is in that hole.
The plant is in that, and we plant 5 hills or seeds in that zai pit.
I've seen those in Makueni. I just didn't know that's what they are called.
Yes.
I've seen farmers are doing that.
And you
some
do
farmers.
it once and you stay for almost 2 years without digging it. So women have been, as you know, Kitui women are very hardy, and they have been able to excavate this, and they are having their crop assured of harvest.
So you, from an expert point of view, this project has been a success?
Indeed, it has been a success.
Are you looking to replicate to other counties?
Yes. In fact, our generous partner, Koika, is considering to extend, deepen within the counties that we are in, but also extend to the neighboring countries. Of course, we are only focusing in ASAL counties, where climate change impacts are more severe than most other places.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mercy, what would you like us to remember when we leave here today?
Yeah, one thing I'd love to, my parting shot is on collective effort and political goodwill. Political goodwill in such a way that if the leadership of the day is not supportive, then a project cannot be successful. We have had a very supportive leadership of the day, and the leadership of Governor Simon Kachapin, and his open door policy. He welcomes all partners. We've had a smooth implementation for the last few years without any hurdles. Chebet mentioned about the county gender policy that is finalized, and we are meant to present it to the cabinet in a few days' time, and that is a success and a plus for us. Collective collaboration in such a way that for this project we have implemented it with a number of partners, with the financial support of Koika, UN Women, Village Enterprise, and the county government of West Pokot through the Department of Gender and mainly agriculture. And I'm thinking this is about gender, a bit of policy work, and also a bit of climate smart agriculture. One partner is an expert in climate smart agriculture, that is FAO, We have UN Women who are gender experts. We have the county government, Department of Agriculture. We bring all our expertise together and the project becomes a success. So collective action, collective collaboration, and finally, leadership.
Okay. Leah, what would you like us to remember?
Right. I think for me, over and above what I've already said in terms of investing in women, is there is still a huge need in these counties that are the ASAL counties. And we know that we are very grateful to Koika for the investment that they have put in, the seed that they have planted, because it has really shown us, given us the experience and the expertise to implement such programs there. I think for me, what I would say is, when you go to West Pokot, you find there is little investment, yet the need is really, really high. And I know that we are committed as a partnership with UN Women and FAO to make sure that we continue deepening the interventions, but also it is a call to action by other funders to deepen, to expand the work that we are doing and also deepen it, because there is really a huge need there. And I think it's really exciting to see the commitment from the partners sitting on this table, and I think a lot has been alluded to the government that has been very supportive, just ensuring that we are deepening and expanding our interventions through you know, the implementation and the learnings that we have done, taking them forward, not just starting from scratch. For anyone who wants to invest in West Pokot, we have a rich evidence base on what works, and we are happy to partner with others to expand the work that we started.
Okay, Chebet?
Mine is first to thank Women, a Village Enterprise and the program for believing in West Pokot County. And I would say without a shadow of doubt that West Pokot is a true devolution success story. I've seen the transformation from 2014 to date, and everywhere you go in the county, something different has happened. And it's not just unilaterally through the efforts of the county government, because like I said, being a marginalized county, we didn't have roads, we didn't have dispensaries, we didn't have water, we didn't have just basic education, not only the ECD, which is a county government function, or primary. We have children who are studying under trees, you know, starting 2014. But right now, if you go to the county, you see something working in every sector. And we cannot do it as a county government because of the limited resources. That's why we thank all the partners that have agreed to work with us. And I echo what Leah has said. There's so much room for more assistance. I will not say assistance because there's a dependency syndrome that comes with assistance,
Yes.
but partnership. Partnership is what I would call it. So if more partners can come, there are different sectors. We have a CIDP, which is open to everybody to implement. So it's not only county government or national government to implement the county integrated development plan, but we have other partners that can come in, look at the work plan. And our governor has put together a docket, a specific docket that deals with resource mobilization and partnership relationships. So when you land in the county as a partner, you have a courtesy call, he will give you time, and then from there you'll be given to the technical department. He allows the technical people to work with the partner, so we see which are the areas of intervention. Most importantly, we used to go for peer-to-peer learning in Kiambu, Murang'a, those counties that were doing very well in agriculture. But now we don't have to go across the country. We just go from let's say Sigor Ward all the way to Riwo.
Yeah.
So we don't have the success stories within us. Yeah. So it has really helped us because the budget now we don't have to budget
internally.
Exactly, and we don't have to spend so much money for farmers mobilization, and we bus them to different counties. No, we just say the women from Chepareria Ward, go across to Riwo, sit with your peers, learn, pick this or this project or that project. And one of the things that we've done recently is we banned charcoal. But by banning charcoal, you have to give an alternate, alternate to the people who are actually burning charcoal. But the county government is implementing aggressively climate smart, climate sensitive things like tree planting. So you tell the women to plant tree seedlings, and then the county government will buy the tree seedlings from them, so they'll be able to get a source of income, and then the youth will go and plant those trees in the forest, get some casual money as laborers, plant and then protect the forest. So there's an ownership in the cycle that is being created. But I would say West Pokot is truly a success story. Thank you, and welcome everybody. I know we get negative press, but I'm here to say it's a peaceful county. It's just a small area that we have an issue, but that is being dealt with the national government. But the county government has really been progressive, and I thank wholesomely to the leadership of our governor, who has made sure that transformation is in his manifesto, and he believes in transformation, and we are seeing transformation. So Karibu Zainab, West Pokot, please come and do a show live from there. And thank you everybody. Welcome.
Thank you, and that's an excellent point to end this conversation. I'd like to thank my panelists who've come to share some insights from West Pokot County, Dr. Barak Okoba from FAO, Masito Mkuu from WCSA, Leah Okero, also the country director, Village Enterprise, and of course the county government of West Pokot, represented by Priscilla Chebet, the chief finance officer. Thank you very much for making time to have this discussion with us. The news headlines will be right up shortly. Do not go away. My name is Zena Bondati. I've been your host tonight. Have a good evening.
To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
Imperfections, blackheads. Try Garnier's Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, powered by salicylic acid and purified charcoal to reduce pimple-causing germs by 99.5%. One product, 3 uses for a pure skin. Garnier Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, #1 in South Africa, by Garnier Naturally.
Jenny, what are you up to at this time?
I'm just doing this for my friends at school who do not have lunch.
You should have told me.
When your kids learn from you, you're giving them a great start. Prestige Margarine. It all starts with a great start. Now comes in the original and vanilla flavor.
If you want to be free and live like a child again, why stress about germs? If you must worry, then worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
It's fair to say Borussia Dortmund's season has resembled a roller coaster. BVB's performances in the Bundesliga have been inconsistent and lackluster, in contrast with their spirited showings in the Champions League. And while their unpredictability was evident over 180 minutes against Atletico Madrid, Dortmund are on the cusp of an unlikely Champions League final berth.
I tried looking out for you, bro. Hey, you see now? How's the heartburn? Look now, it's burning.
Do not hold back in any situation. Eno gets to work on the 6 symptoms of heartburn fast.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Are you curious about that dazzling look? How do you define beauty? And how to dress elegant, glitz, and glamorous. The Glam Show is here to answer all those questions and show you what's popping and what's the latest in the beauty and lifestyle world, because you need it. Look Pack your best and fall in love with Into the Glam every single Saturday only on NTV.
The Glam, in association with Absolute Repair Molecular by L'Oreal Professional.
Innovation Absolute Repair Molecular. Concentrated with 2% peptides bonder to rebuild hair's molecular structure and repair 2 years of damage in 1 use. Absolute Repair Molecular. Reborn Stronger by L'Oreal.
No bunga pagi pendene lace the mystery. No unga ti browse on flick the mystery. No bunga me gonna next week the mystery.
Only on the Trend at 10 p.m.
The Trend, in association with DSTV and GoTV.
You let me focus on the fashion and you focus on the business, hey?
This is Shanga, Beauty and the Beads, starting 25th April at 8 p.m. exclusively on Maisha Magic Plus.
If you must worry, then worry about winning. Why worry about germs?
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Dark marks keep coming back. Any tips? Double the vitamin C power. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. Daily with the #1 Vitamin C serum to correct dark marks. At night, new 10% Vitamin C serum to help prevent their reappearance. Together, twice as fast dark mark reduction. The Power Duo. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. By Garnier, naturally.
Bringing families together with love to honor cultural traditions with great taste. This Ramadan, celebrate the moments and meals that bring us together. Wishing you peace, joy and unity. Ramadan Kareem.
My goodness, it hurts so much. I don't want to die, Natalia. Please, you have to help me.
You're going to be all right. We're getting out of here. Shh, just breathe. Just breathe, Natalia.
Forgive me for everything. I want you to forgive me. Please forgive me.
We've lost him.
No, he cannot die. No.
We need to let him go. We did everything we could for him.
Head over heels.
Head over heels in association with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion. Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion with 5-in-1 complete care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin.
This is NTV.
The cooperative movement plays a key role in Kenya's social circle, which is celebrating 55 years of transforming lives.
We are now celebrating our 55 years being in business, showing our stability and our resilience.
From the time it was formed in 1969 as a SACCO for the staff of the Department of Cooperatives, Shirika Deposit Taking SACCO has seen tremendous growth and transformation, with its membership now drawn from all sectors of the economy.
That time it was a small department, and therefore we were catering for those members who were employed there. It was very satisfying because members would come together, they save, and then they borrow.
I joined the Minister of Cooperative on 13th of April 1974.
Herman Edagwa Aradwa is a former cooperatives officer and a member of Shirika SACCO for over 50 years.
I joined Shirika 1974. Entrance fee was only 20 shillings. 20 bob. you could opt to pay more. But most people are just paying the minimum. The idea was you save and you can borrow. You would not borrow immediately you joined the circle. You would at least be a member for 6 months. Save for at least 6 months, then you can borrow 3 times what your savings are. And the repayment period, that time, it depended on the type of loan you have taken. If it was something like school fees, you were supposed to repay it within 12 months. If it was a development loan, not more than 36 months.
He narrates how Shirika Sacco has helped him over the years.
This house I'm building, there was a time Shirika gave me 800,000. I have about 2.5 acres here, all courtesy of Shirika. Even in Nairobi, we have a housing cooperative called Kenhat, Kasarani. We got loans to pay for those plots by Shirika.
Shirika Deposit Taking Sacco is at a 2 Sacco with an asset base of over 4.9 billion Kenya shillings, deposits of over 3.8 billion Kenya shillings, and a loan book of more than 3.6 billion Kenya shillings. This year, the Sacco gave dividend returns of 12% on share capital and 10.8% on deposits.
We have very low expenditure levels and we continuously monitor our budget to make sure that we have the lowest expenditure against the revenue that we generate.
The Sacco, which has a membership of over 10,000, is regulated by the Sacco Societies Regulatory Authority, SASRA. It opened its common bond in 2015.
We opened our common board so that we could cater even for people who are in other government institutions like parastatals, and especially when our members were transferred from the Department of Cooperatives and they went on to other government institutions, we never sent them away.
Nowadays, we are able to recruit members from the civil service, the government ministries, and also individual members can join the society, as well as a result of devolution, we are able to get members from the counties. All the 47 counties within our country, we have got our members.
And how does one become a member of Shirika Deposit Taking Sacco?
We have a very basic requirements. One, you need an original ID, Kenyan or identity card or even a passport. Number 2, you will need to have an income. This could be a payslip. You could also be doing a business, and so you have some income that you channeled with us. And then you will also need to fill an application form, and these forms are also available online.
The board of Shirika Sacco consists of 9 board members and 3 supervisory committee members who are well equipped to run and manage the affairs of the Sacco. The Sacco has also invested in training members, delegates, the board and the staff.
Our governance processes have been very efficient and very effective. One of the things is that most of the people who are in the board are drawn from the mainstream Ministry of Cooperatives. And you know, these are the custodian of the cooperative law. They are the ones who understand how cooperatives are run, and they are the ones who supervise even the other cooperatives.
Shirika is based on a delegate system. Delegates represent the members. So what we do from Shirika, we get in touch with the delegates, and the delegates mobilize the members for the specific days that we have earmarked for education to the members. Once we have an education day, we will notify all the members of that same day, and we will present the education to the members, of course with marketing our items and also notifying them of our current financial position and such like things, because apart from educating our members, we need to inform them of where their Sacco is.
Shirika Deposit Taking Sacco has transformed many lives of its members. Isaac Yarapuo and Irene Ndoku are just but among the many members whose lives have been greatly transformed.
Shirika has been my life in terms of the economical part. I've done a lot with Shirika. First of all, I've done savings, which I would not have done without Shirika. I've crossed the 1 million line. I'm happy. I've achieved some livestock with Shirika and some parcels of land. I have more than 10 parcels of land through Shirika. And one of them is one here.
Ile biashara tunafanya ya kubeba watoto wa shule. Tunaita the transport ya school ministry ya watoto. Gari ile tuko nayo tulisaidiwa kununua na shirika Sacco Society. Na imetuinua sana kijamii. Hiyo biashara ya kubeba watoto wa shule imetusaidia tukapata pesa tukajenga boma nyumbani mwingi. Mwaka huu imetuwezesha kununua gari ingine ya biashara ambao ni ya green grocery. Tunaendea manyanya, tunaendea kitunguu, tunaleta kwa wholesale, tunamwanga hapo kama jamii na hiyo inatuletea pesa kama jamii na tunainuka pamoja kijamii.
The house, for example, the one I'm living in, it had not been completed. So the funds that I got from Shirika is what I used to complete the house. When I completed the house, I went into tea. I started planting tea. It was bringing in revenue. After that, we went into dairy. The dairy was also doing so well. Through Shirika, I applied for a loan. It was granted. I went to bought a land. I now started having the animals.
Shirika imenisaidia kujenga. Shirika imenisaidia kupata hii plot. Kama si shirika, ningekuwa wapi? Ukikuja hizi ng'ombe unaona ni shirika. Na tena nazimendei ni because of shirika.
Shirika Sacco haini support mimi peke yangu, but ikini support mimi na mimi pia naona support wengine ambao pia wanafaidika kutokana na duka hili. Ukiangalia watu ambao wa bodaboda wakinipelekea mzigo, wanawalipa transport. Ukiangalia hapa niko na mtu ambaye anafanya kazi, mwisho wa mwezi ninamlipa.
Shirika Deposit Taking Sacco has capitalized on providing their products and services digitally through various platforms such as mobile banking, ATMs, and electronic funds transfer. These enable members to access loans, savings, and even applying for membership at the comfort of their homes in Kenya and beyond the borders.
We've been able to digitize a bulk of our services, which means that our members in Mandera, our members in Narok, our members in Busia, our members all the way in Lamu can be able to access services from Shirika without having to go to any of our offices.
We introduced the use of our ATMs, where our member can be able to access their funds using the ATMs or most of the services using their phone. Members can be able to pay their money using the pay bill, using to repay their loan, using the pay bill, using the USSD. And this we have been doing it in order to increase the efficiency of service delivery to our members.
Necessarily need to visit the physical offices to access the credit facilities. They are allowed by the society to fill the loan form wherever they are, and then make sure that the loan meets the minimum thresholds which are set by the credit policy of the Sacco, and then scan the same form and send it through our email. Then we're able to process the loan within a duration of 24 hours.
Wameweza kuimarisha na kufanya rahisi sana kujipatia mkopo. Maana yake ni kwamba wewe unachukua form, unaijaza, alafu unatafuta watu watatu, wale tunaita guarantors, wanakutilia sahihi. Wakikutilia sahihi, unachukua ile form, alafu unaiskani. Na unajua siku hizi mambo ni digital. Sasa hapo unachukua simu yako, hii simu yako iko na kamskana, alafu unaskani ile form vizuri. Ukishaiskani ile form, unaituma wewe mwenyewe kwa ofisi ya shirika. Wakiipokea, wanaikagua. Kwa muda wa masaa 24 wamekujulisha kwamba wamekamilisha kukagua form yako na pesa umetiliwa kwenye account.
Before we used to have all our loans approved by manually, and everybody would have to bring their loan forms to the Sacco's office, and that would waste a lot of time. And then now the processing also takes long because it is manual. But now we have transformed. We have digitized our circle and we are able to do things at the comfort of our homes.
As Shirika DT Sacco, you have diversified credit products which are meant to handle our diverse needs of our clients in various sectors of the economy. We have both long-term loans and short-term loans.
The retired members of the SACCO are not left behind either.
Retirement isn't the end of life. Retirement is the beginning of your current state of life, which means that you can still benefit and patronize services from Shirika in terms of loans.
We are giving them credit facilities, providing that their pension, they are channeling it through Shirika, and alternatively, if they have other investments and businesses which they are running, they can still bring those savings to Shirika and be able to get credit facility just like any other member.
By the time you are retiring, you should be able to look back and say that I will not struggle because I will be having some passive income somewhere because I was able to develop myself when I was working, and all this is facilitated by Shirika Sacco.
With 55 years of great work and life transformation, Shirika Deposit Taking Sacco promises to keep the pace high in service delivery to all its members.
As we celebrate the 55 years of existence of our society, we want to assure them of continued service to our members and even prospective members there. We want to continue to ensure that we give the best.
Shirika has the best efficiency levels at 18%.
I'm a testimony of what I have been able to do in Shirika now that I have been there for 33 years or 34 years, and all the assets I've been able to acquire, they have been through the Shirika loan.
Shirika now is open to everybody and people are enjoying. The society is so stable.
We want to welcome all those Kenyans out there, living out there, wherever you are. We want to welcome them that you can be able to join Shirika and become a member, and we will continue to enjoy these services of the society like any other member who are here.
I have audited many other societies, so I can be able to compare and to learn from other cooperative societies, and I can tell maybe potential members and even assure the ones who are already members that Shirika is one of the best cooperative societies.
That's the story of Shirika Deposit Taking Sacco, a 55-year journey of transforming lives.
Enroll now in our ongoing April and May intakes in the following diploma, certificate and artisan programs. SMS your name, course, grade and email address to 0725 818 644 or visit our website Eldoret Technical Training Institute. Growing reputation.
Na kujua kama mke wako ni mjamzito kweli au wananifanyia drama.
Anakaa mtu saa ingoja. Ndio huyo.
Wenyewe Odi, nyinyi mmekuja kufuata nini?
Nataka kujua umetoa wapi pesa za kulipia hii nyumba.
Alisha wangu amenitumia kutoka mbinguni.
Sister in law wako. Nani wa nani? Tangu lini? Ninemtambua alikufa. Stacy. Like I care.
Q, in association with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion. Show off your best skin with Nivea Nourishing Cocoa Body Lotion with 5-in-1 complete care. The deeply nourishing formula prevents your skin from drying with precious cocoa butter and deep moisture for smooth and healthy looking skin.
Are you curious about that dazzling look? How do you define beauty? And and how to dress elegant, glitz, and glamorous. The Glam Show is here to answer all those questions and show you what's popping and what's the latest in the beauty and lifestyle world, because you need it. Look your best and fall in love with Into the Glam every single Saturday only on NTV.
The Glam, in association with Absolute Repair Molecular by L'Oreal Professional.
Innovation Absolute Repair Molecular. Concentrated with 2% peptides bonder to rebuild hair's molecular structure and repair 2 years of damage in 1 use. Absolute Repair Molecular. Reborn Stronger by L'Oreal.
I'm sure you're wondering why USIU. The reason why you're coming here is not because you're just getting a degree. You're getting to experience USIU.
Vijana wangu, shukeni kutoka kwenye hayo mabati. Sio salama kwenu. Jamani, mbona hamshuki? Nimesema ni hatari.
Mama, umekuwa ukisema hivyo kwa miaka mingi sasa.
Mabati ya Maisha Alozinc hudumu kwa muda mrefu yakilinganishwa na mabati ya kawaida. Maisha Mabati Mills inatoa suluhisho kamili unapotaka kuwekeza mabati kote nchini Kenya. Ni mabati yaliyo na rangi na yametengenezwa na aluminium na zinc kuyawezesha kudumu, na yana maumbo na manufaa tofauti. Nunua Maisha Mabati leo, kwani hudumu.
Are you a proud alumni of the prestigious University of Nairobi? Are you ready to make a difference that lasts a lifetime? Then join us for the University of Nairobi Alumni Association Walk.
On the 4th of May, the University of Nairobi alumni are going to be walking in order to support scholarships and sponsorships for other students. We want you to be there. We'd be happy to see you there.
This is indeed a walk for a brighter future. Every stride raises funds for the Alumni Scholarship Fund, a beacon of hope for deserving students in need.
This is NTV.
A very good evening to you on this Wednesday. Thank you for taking the time to join us on NTV tonight. As is the case on Wednesdays, it's all about the money. And tonight, on The Money, it's about the Nairobi Securities Exchange. All that and more on the other side of these news highlights.
Kusema kweli sijaiona kitu kama hii. So, tunafanya tu kuomba Mungu atusaidie.
Torrents of horror. At least 12 people killed in Nairobi as floods inundated most parts of the city. Thika Superhighway was cut off for hours. Also tonight,
my salary was stopped almost 19 months ago, and when we met the county initially, they said they were to reinstate it, but they sent me a dismissal letter instead, simply because of this current strike.
Several doctors sacked, but they still will not call off the strike. 43 days now and counting. Who will save the ailing health sector? Plus,
it's pure malice, it's witch hunt, it's meant to silence the officers and any other voices that might want to speak up.
Interdicted or silenced? 3 parliamentary officers burned their fingers for leaking details of Bunge Tower to the press. And
it was really just brokerage fees and a little bit of advisory work here and there. That's what stockbrokers depended on.
Glory days fading at the Nairobi Stock Exchange. Details on the money tonight.
Live from Nation Centre, this is NTV Tonight with Olive Burrows.
Olive Burrows and our sign language interpreter tonight is Flora Atieno. I wish I was starting on a lighter note, but more than 12 people have died in Nairobi and Kajiado counties due to the heavy rainfall that has been pounding different parts of the country. Kenyans living in areas prone to flooding have been advised to move to safe areas before the matter gets out of hand. With that report is NTV's Fatma Buku.
Anger, frenzy, and the raging waters, not only in the slums and along riverbanks, but also in the city of Nairobi, which was transformed into a lake. In Mathare, the bodies of 10 people who were swept by the raging floods have been recovered. Approximately 60,000 people have been left homeless in Kibra, Lindi, Githurai, Zimmerman, and Mathare.
All the emergency response teams, including Nairobi Water Company, our health, wellness and nutrition, mobility, disaster management have been deployed to these areas to provide the necessary support.
In Athi River at the Mangeli slums, Machakos County, 2 individuals have been confirmed dead, with efforts underway to locate other missing persons.
Nyumba zimeangushwa na hii mvua umetunyeshea Mungu na sasa hatuna pahali ya kuenda.
In Kirinyaga County, traders in Kagio Market are counting losses. Most business people could not access their shops due to high water levels. Rwangondo Primary School in Mwea West Sub-County was also affected.
Kuna mara mbili sasa maji yamejaa yakafurika hadi choo zimekuja juu. Siku hizi hata watu wafungui duka hapa.
Nataka county government na national government ituwekee drainage system nzuri juu venye tumekaa sasa. Kunaweza uwezekano wa kuwa na maradhi.
Private and public service vehicles were also not spared. Users spent the better part of the day rescuing their vehicles, which were swept by the flood waters. Nairobi County Governor Johnson Sakaja has asked those affected to move to safe areas before the situation gets worse. The county has stopped issuance of development approvals and all excavations to avoid disaster as heavy rain persists.
Tafadhali msingoje kusongeshwa. Kama pali huko jana kulinyesha unafikiri leo ni safe, leo labda mvua itakuwa zaidi. So usisubiri kusongeshwa. Jameni watu wasonge mahali ambapo wameelezwa.
According to the latest statistics from the Kenya Red Cross, 38 people lost their lives, 24 schools have been affected, 7 hospitals flooded, and 264 businesses damaged across the country. Fatma Bugu, NTV.
In my estimation, the situation is already out of hand. Transport was paralyzed for hours along Thika Superhighway at Juja town following heavy rains that pounded the area, causing flooding. Motorists and passengers were stranded after runoff water from small drainage caused vehicles to stall on the road. Elsewhere, Namanga Road was blocked following raging floods after River Athi burst its banks today morning, paralyzing transport completely. Margaret Kimathi has that story.
This was the situation at Thika Superhighway in Juja town, Kiambu County. Transport activities were cut short after flash floods that were reportedly emanating near Jomo Kenyatta University swept through the road, stalling all movements. Vehicles playing along the route were forced to seek alternative linkages, such as the service lane, to unhook them from the traffic snarl-ups. The snarl-ups stretched from Kimbo area, with motorists expressing displeasure with the government's unpreparedness to mitigate the aftermath of the ongoing heavy rains.
Tumekuja hapa saa 9 usiku. Gari hapa imekunywa maji. Paka saa hii hatujatoka, bado tujalitahidi. Sasa customer wenye tulikuwa nao, wengine walishuka, walikuwa wanapanda maroli, wanaenda na lori wakiwa huko juu.
Tumesumbuka hapa Thika Road. Hii bridge ya kutoka Githurai ukifika Kenyatta University imebidi turudi tutumie long side tupate kuenda na Thika.
The situation was worse at Kiambu County offices in Juja sub-county as the floods formed a sea-like site, forcing all workers to remain idle along the busy highway for hours. No one, including staff and residents seeking services at the facility, could access it.
Walikuwa wanajua kwamba kutanyesha hii mvua ya El Nino, ila hawakuweza kuangalia maneno ya drainage, hawakuweza kuangalia maneno ya maji ambayo yanatusumbua wakati huu.
There's a big jam of the vehicles which are heading towards Thika. This matter is being sorted out by traffic officers, and even security personnel are here. And we have called upon the Kenya who are currently here to try to drain the water so that the flow of motor vehicles can go back to normal.
Elsewhere, the raging floods have rendered Namanga Road impassable after River Athi burst its bank Wednesday morning, paralyzing transport completely. The heavy floods came from upstream Ngong area, flowing toward the river township. The only bridge along Namanga Road connecting it to Mombasa Road was completely submerged. Motorists were blocked from both sides with heavy traffic extending to more than 5 kilometers on both sides. Hundreds of residents and passengers thronged the area to watch the phenomenon that happened lastly 10 years ago. Dozens of families from nearby Kosoito slums were trapped in their houses by the floods. A petrol station, business entities and motorists were completely marooned with owners counting huge losses.
So kurudi hivi juu, kurudi tena chini, nikapata maji imejaa. Imeingia paka kwa hoteli juu ni restaurant, imebeba vitu zote, imebeba viti, imebeba kila kitu, imevunja milango. Watu wote tumekwama hapa. Sasa hatujui tufanye nini. Serikali waje itusaidie. Maji imejaa, kuna penye tutapita.
Maji nimeikuta ikivusa hii daraja. Kurudi nilikuwa naenda kazi, hakuna kuenda. Maji, kuna watu wananipigia simu, madereva wengine wako huko Kasoito, hawaendi. Wanasema mpaka wapelekewe chopa watoke na watoto.
Other areas where transport was affected include Nairobi, Laikipia, Meru and Machakos counties. Margaret Kimathi, NTV.
Away from the floods, doctors across the country under the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union have begun receiving termination letters. This is the step several counties have opted to take as the doctors refuse to call off the strike. KMPDU says it will not call off the strike due to the critical issue of posting and payment of medical interns under the 2017 collective bargaining agreement. Helena Ora with more.
Parties have agreed unanimously that they will take whatever necessary action that is required to stop the sufferings of Kenyans.
And action has begun. As the doctors' strike enters its 43rd day, the shift in tides seem to almost capsize the dreams of the striking doctors. Several doctors under the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union have received termination letters from their various employers across the country. The recent one to be axed is the Deputy Secretary General of the Doctors Union.
The counties have issued threats and a person has been a victim. My salary was stopped almost 19 months ago. And when we met the county initially, they said they were to reinstate it. But they sent me a dismissal letter instead, simply because of this current strike. But it's okay. I know that there's nothing I did wrong. I will never call for any disciplinary issue. My file is clean. But we know that the price that you have to pay for liberty is to be eternally vigilant. So we are quite aware, members are aware that whatever we are championing for they have to be prices to pay, and we're willing to pay that price.
And if any doctor is dismissed in Mandera, we don't expect doctors in Migori to be at work. We don't expect doctors in KNH to be at work. It is not a fragmented action. It's an action of all doctors across the country. So it's an all or none.
The Labour and Employment Court had directed both teams to report back after the lapse of their consultative meetings, which have clearly failed to steer the ship in the right direction. While county governments and the national government at large seem to have washed their hands off the matter, the doctors say they will not relent.
What you had was a warm-up. Those are not talks in the very essence of talks. Talks don't happen when there is a sword of Damocles hanging around your neck, or a very tight nozzle hanging around your neck. They have probably underestimated our result.
Helen Aura, NTV.
As the ruling United Democratic Alliance revs up its engines for the grassroots elections set to commence on Friday, a ferocious battle gears up between Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on Nairobi UDA chairperson position. Here is Brian Mushiri with the details.
President William Ruto's United Democratic Alliance UDA party says that it's all systems go for its grassroots elections, in which at least 190,000 candidates will be seeking positions. The first phase will cover 5 counties: Nairobi, Narok, West Pokot, Busia and Homa Bay. As it stands and is expected, the fight for Nairobi leadership positions is already proving to be an intense one. The most prominent battle is the Nairobi UDA chairmanship position that has split the ruling UDA Nairobi party into 2 factions, one allied to Embakasi North Member of Parliament James Gakuya, who is said to have the blessing of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, and one led by Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja. Governor Sakaja himself confirmed that he will be in the race to be the chair of the party in the county.
So leo nataka musikie kwangu, sio kwa mtu mwingine ama fununu. Mimi nasimama kuwa chairman wa UDA Nairobi County. Sio hiyo? Mumesikia? So sio ruma.
Both Governor Sakaja and Gakuya are marshalling their troops for the D-Day. Gakuya, who is said to have the blessing of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, was part of the Nairobi River Regeneration Committee delegation at Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's residence in Karen. On the other hand, Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja is said to be banking on his experience and role in former President Uhuru Kenyatta's The National Alliance, where he served as the national chairman. Both Sakaja and Gakuya have to ensure that their loyalists are elected at the lowest level to boost their chances of winning the county level. Brian Mushiri, NTV, Nairobi.
The exit of retail investors, triggered by a sudden downshift in share prices, and foreigners' sell-offs have conspired to dampen the fortunes of stock brokerages after the severe decline of trading volumes, which formed the bulk of brokerage revenues. This week on the Money by Brian Jojotieno and Kefa Mwiruri, we take a look at the evolution of the brokerage business.
Throughout the 2000s and early 2010s, the stock market represented by the Nairobi Securities Exchange was the place to be. Constant initial public offerings and a new unwavering rise in stock prices saw thousands of Kenyans flock to the bows for a piece of the auction, creating a fallacy that the market would always go up. For instance, between 2006 and 2008, there were 7 IPOs, 6 of which were oversubscribed, including KenGen, Scan Group, Everready, Access Kenya, Kenyari and Safaricom. Share prices rose by the day, minting millionaires while punishing doubters who prematurely called a market peak. The number of CDS accounts on trading accounts doubled in 2008, topping 1.46 million accounts from 724,477 CDS accounts in December 2007. Increased market activity brought a windfall to stock brokerages, which are usually the market intermediaries enabling buying and selling of shares, and who primarily earn brokerage fees and commissions for their facilitation role. During this time, brokerage houses such as Suntra and moguls such as Jim Nambaru, the owner of Dyer & Blair Investment Bank, became household names as the stock market reached fever pitch. Other players standing on the wings, including banks like NCBA and KCB, jostled for stock brokerage licenses, where a seat at the table cost a mouth-watering 241 million shillings. All this would change in years subsequent to 2008 financial crisis, as the general slump in global markets saw retail investors scrambling for exit doors, punching a sizable hole to the revenues and bottom lines of stock brokerage businesses. For instance, when Safaricom's stock fell below its IPO price of 5 shillings in late 2008 and remained below the floor through 2009, this tested the faith of retail investors who abandoned their position.
During this period, obviously, stockbrokers suffered quite a bit, because you can imagine during the glory days, as you call them, the volumes were high, and of course stockbrokers were heavily dependent on brokerage fees. So it was really just brokerage fees and a little bit of advisory work here and there. That's what stockbrokers depended on. So what happened was, now when we went into this slump, which we still are in that slump to some extent, a lot of stockbrokers' revenues then declined significantly, especially for stockbrokers who now did not have institutional investors and those who did not have foreign desks.
An analysis of 7 stockbrokers and investment banks' net earnings across 10 years between 2014 and 2023 lays bare the impact of the stock market decline in the past decade. Of 7 stockbrokers and investment banks, only Dyer & Blair and Standard Investment Bank have remained profitable, with the former still seeing a significant decline in net earnings over the period. In 2014, 20 stock brokerage and investment banks had made a combined 1.2 billion shillings in profits. A decade later, Kestrel Capital, Genghis Capital, Faida Investment Bank, Renaissance Capital and ABC Capital all returned losses in the year ended December 2023. Over the same period under review, annual equity turnover has slumped 59.1%, having closed 2023 at 88.2 billion shillings last year from 215.73 billion shillings in December 2014. The decline has been exacerbated by foreign investor sell-offs, which hit their 4th straight year in 2023, alongside the lack of new listings, with the last IPOs having come in 2014, with NSE self-listing on the bows. Consequently, stock brokerages have moved to diversify their business in a move aimed at reducing the dominance of trading fees and commissions as the players' only revenues. Standard Investment Bank, for instance, turned to offshore investing via their multi-asset strategy fund dubbed Mansa X, and have also recently acquired the nod of the Retirement Benefits Authority to manage pensions. Meanwhile, mergers and acquisitions have given some stockbrokers a new lease of life. In 2020, Apex Capital merged with AIB Capital, forming AIB Axis Africa, a stock brokerage that specializes in trading and research and corporate finance advisory. To counter the market inactivity, the Nairobi Securities Exchange moved to innovate new products like Next, a derivatives market, and Ibuka, an incubation and acceleration program desired to hatching new listings in the future. Innovations such as automation of trading has allowed the seamless and timely settlement of concluded trades.
In the past, we used what we used to call the open outcry system to do trades. The banking system was pretty inefficient then. So what would happen is you would go to a brokerage, and don't forget, most brokerage firms, because it's a volumes business, would be in Nairobi. So assuming you're in Nyeri and you wanted to trade, you would have to come to Nairobi, go to your broker's office. That's a cost. You would need to make your order to buy or sell. Your brokerage would take your order, and then you would have a period of something like T+7, because then checks would settle in 7 days. plus for those shares to actually become yours. So you can see that turnaround time and the cost of doing business. And then somebody would come to the market floor, which used to be, I think, in this building, and then they would, you know, give it to someone and they would shout it out, you know, buy or sell this, which means there was a high probability of human error. Yeah. Now, in comes CDSC, which means shares are now digitally stored. In comes our automated trading systems at Nairobi Securities Exchange. And now that gives us ability to now have platforms which can link to these two platforms, and then we can trade in real time.
The market yearns for a return to the glory days as fund managers continue to see the opportunity presented by cheaply priced stocks. A return of this nostalgia seen in Kibaki era could very well repair some of the bruising seen on the stock brokerage businesses in the past decade. Brian George Otieno, NTV, on the money.
We take a break, but NTV Tonight continues on the other side.
Eliud Kipchoge has done the unthinkable.
Today, everyone knows me for my victories. Only I know how much I had to try. I got silver, bronze, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. How you deal with pain and setbacks makes you who you are. I choose to accept that I am human. I choose to test myself and stand up when I was down, again and again. Then I realized I wasn't giving myself a challenge big enough, a dream big enough to inspire not just me, but every fellow human. I was limiting myself by what I thought I could do, so I became unlimited. I chose to run the biggest race that man could run. And I challenged myself to do it faster than anyone had done it before. Everything changes when you choose to be unlimited.
To be unlimited, call 0800 724 724.
Kuna 1.1 million Kenyan shillings mahali hapa. Yote ndani ya shamba hili, na tarehe 28 mwezi huu wa Aprili, draw ya kujishindia shamba hili inafanyika. Unaitaka? Dial star 570 hash, chagua option ya kuvuka na chake pekee. Cheza mara kadhaa, imarisha ushindi wako kwa kujaza tiketi zako kwenye draw. Title deed yako tunaitransfer papa hapa. Lot yako iko kwenye star 570 hash. Kalamu yako ya sahihi ndio hii na makasi yako ndio hii. Buka na shake!
To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Be Dettol sure.
For an exclusive 3-time skin effect, try Nivea Men Deep powered by Black Carbon. For 48-hour deep moisture, a fresh skin feel, and a long-lasting masculine fragrance. Make an impact with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion. Try Nivea Men Deep Roll On for 72-hour antibacterial sweat protection.
Everyone can be an expert in his or her field. You can be an expert in all analytics. You know who will be the next star of the season. You can be an expert in all matches.
Borussia Dortmund's season has resembled a roller coaster. BVB's performances in the Bundesliga have been inconsistent and lackluster, in contrast with their spirited showings in the Champions League. And while their unpredictability was evident over 180 minutes against Atletico Madrid, Dortmund are on the cusp of an unlikely Champions League final berth.
I tried looking out for you, bro. Hey, you see now? How's the heartburn? Look now, it's burning.
Do not hold back in any situation. Eno gets to work on the 6 symptoms of heartburn fast.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
3 parliamentary officers have been interdicted after being accused of leaking information on the substandard status, security and safety concerns of the 9 billion shillings new Bunge Towers. This comes at a time when even a section of members of parliament are questioning the suitability of the building, saying it is not worth its cost. NTV's Vincent Odur tells us more.
As President William Ruto is expected to officially launch the new Bunge Towers this Thursday, heads have started to roll in connection to concerns raised about its suitability. Parliamentary Service Commission has interdicted 3 parliamentary officers who are being accused of leaking the substandard state of Bunge Towers to the media.
The interdiction is pure malice. Pure malice is witch hunt. It's meant to silence the officers and any other voices that might want to speak out against the ills in the whole of Bunge.
Even though some members have already occupied their offices at Bunge Towers, the building is said to be not only substandard, but also lacks physical or technical security measures.
As of today, the 25th floor, which is supposed to be the command center or the control room, has not been fitted with the requisite technical security measures. It ought to have come up with at least a semblance of a technical security system. But to date, members and staff who will be domiciled in the building are doing it at their own risk. This is a project designed, implemented by business people. I cannot remember. I mean, I would struggle to find anywhere a security risk analysis, a scientific analysis that informed the project.
There are concerns that there was no knowledge transfer from the contractor to the technical operators of the building, leading to frequent technical challenges.
We have an over-deployment of cameras, and where they are deployed, most of these cameras are dummies and of low quality. Almost all the rooms, all the offices, all the committee rooms have no access to natural light.
Bunge Towers hosts the legislators' offices, kitchen, gym, and other amenities. Vincent Odur, NTV.
Would you invest in Somalia? If the answer is no, why is that? For some, it is the country's long-standing security situation. But both the Somalia government and various players in the business community are expressing confidence in the Horn of Africa country being a viable option for investment backed by enactment of new law. This came up at the first day of the Invest Somalia Conference and Expo 2024, put together by the Nation Media Group and the Somali government.
Hosting of this conference is a clear testimony that Somalia is on the clear path of stability, reconstruction, and undoubtedly will usher in sustainable political and socio-economic development.
Somalia is the future of this continent. And this ties very well with our theme, the new frontier for entrepreneurship and investment.
Security improvements and stabilization initiatives have bolstered confidence, enabling communities to rebuild and thrive.
We have streamlined business process, enhanced our legislative framework, and reinforced our protection for investors. Efforts that underscore our commitment to creating a conducive investment climate.
Some 100 homeowners at Great Wall Gardens in Athi River risk losing their units after the developer failed to convince the Court of Appeal that to temporarily stop KCB from auctioning the houses to recover a loan of 1.9 billion shillings. Pleas by the developer, Adman Property Limited, to the court that the homeowners were innocent purchasers and that the units were sold by mistake were dismissed by a bench of 3 judges, that is Justices Gatembu Kairu, Jesse Lasit, and Grace Nyenye Masharia. All right, National Youth Council has rallied young people in the country to unite and grab opportunities at the national level. Speaking during the launch of a 5-year strategic plan, NYC Kenya CEO Margaret Kiogora said over 75% of Kenyans are youth, but only few are able to access job opportunities. She added that the strategic plan has to put in place measures that will ensure young Kenyans get empowered in all aspects of economic development.
We understand you have your voice as young people, and we are going to amplify what you're doing. We've gotten a lot of support and a lot of commitment, which will be following through after this from our members of parliament to be able to support us, even to be able to look and relook into our act.
It's a very promising plan that if we all put our efforts together and implement it, we are going to achieve a lot for the young people. They have a lot to be ambitious and proud of. All we ask is only the young people, the partners, and all the stakeholders to come together and ensure the implementation of this very ambitious and great plan is undertaken.
NTV Tonight continues on the other side of this break.
Everyone can be an expert in his or her field. You can be an expert in all analytics. You know who will be the next star of the season. You can be an expert in all matches. You're an expert in statistics or people's opinions. 1xBet will help you show your expertise. Express yourself. You're the expert.
Imperfections, blackheads. Try Garnier's Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, powered by salicylic acid and purified charcoal to reduce pimple-causing germs by 99.5%. One product, 3 uses for a pure skin. Garnier Pure Active 3-in-1 Charcoal, #1 in South Africa, by Garnier Naturally.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Cop Cash reward ya 1000 inaweza kukukodolea macho.
Lipa bills kama vile TV, stima, maji na shopping ukitumia M-Cop Cash ama dial *667# na unaweza kujishindia 1000 for every bill paid.
Kuna 100 daily winners.
Chelewa, utapata mbwata sio chako. Kose.
Shinda cash na M-Cop Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
Maswali gani tena? Kama ni mapri, ndio hii Toyota Hi-Ace. Na kama ni mshindi, ni wewe mchezaji wa Lucky Game. Kama ni nambari za kucheza, dial *570#. Na kama ni namna ya kushinda kwa urahisi, cheza Lucky Game mara kadhaa ili kuongeza your entry tickets kwenye draw. Na kama ni siku ya kutangaza mshindi, ni 5th of May. Swali gani tena? Dial *570#. Cheza Lucky Game. Vuka na hii mapri.
Dark marks keep coming back. Any tips? Double the vitamin C power. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. Daily with the #1 Vitamin C serum to correct dark marks. At night, new 10% Vitamin C serum to help prevent their reappearance. Together, twice as fast dark mark reduction. The power duo. New Garnier Vitamin C Day and Night Serums. By Garnier, naturally.
I'm sure you're wondering why USIU. The reason why you're coming here is not because you're just getting a degree. You're getting to experience USIU.
Some 100 homeowners at Great Wall Gardens in Athi River risk losing their units after the developer failed to convince the Court of Appeal to temporarily stop KCB Bank from auctioning the houses to recover a loan of 1.9 billion shillings. Pleas by the developer, Adaman Property Limited, to the court that the homeowners were innocent purchasers and that the units were sold by mistake were dismissed by a bench of 3 judges. Justices Gatembu Kairu, Jesse Lesit and Grace Nyenye Masharia ruled that there was no suggestion that the lender would not be able to compensate the property developer. The court was informed that the property in Athi River was charged to KCB, but that they sold it to innocent third parties who already occupy the houses. The 2-day Kenya Power Lighting and Company e-mobility conference came to a close on Wednesday with discussions steered towards the ease of transition to electronic vehicles. Cabinet Secretary for Energy Davis Churcher urged the private sector to relay the same kindness they receive in incentives from the government to the end consumer.
Encourage the private sector to be really to help government to incentivize and make this market grow faster, by ensuring that when we give incentives in charging like 8 bob per kilowatt hour, they pass the same to the customer as we develop the charging systems to the home. Because we can make this EV industry look expensive when it is really the private sector really loading so much. So let's have a reasonable return on investment for our charging stations.
TPS Eastern Africa, the operator of Serena Hotels, has posted an 870 million shilling net profit for the financial year ended December 2023, marking a 2.3 times jump from the previous year on increased business. The latest profit is a growth from 379.69 million shillings posted in the previous year and translates to record earnings, overtaking the previous peak net income of 615.8 million shillings recorded in 2011. TPS said its portfolio of 22 hotels, resorts, safari lodges and camps within the Eastern Africa region regained its footing, supported by a return of confidence in the foreign leisure and corporate market segments. Revenue from contracts with customers rose by 48% to 9.68 billion shillings from 1.85 billion shillings. Periodic stockouts of day-to-day consumer electronics such as cell phones, television sets and laptops in Nairobi and the larger East African region is expected to ease further as major multinationals report a rebound in shipment across the Red Sea Channel after a slow start to the year. The East African market grappled with stockouts of consumer electronics at the start of 2024 owing to disruption of global maritime flows owing to geopolitical tensions that affected the Red Sea and the Suez Canal. South Korean multinational LG says it now has bullish prospects for the East African market as trade flows rebound. Speaking during the firm's annual showcase for Middle East and Africa in Abu Dhabi, the top leadership says it is also integrating sustainability and artificial intelligence.
In supply chain due to the Red Sea issue in the beginning of this year, but recently improving well, and then all of our products such as TV, washing machine, refrigerator, aircon, all are growing well.
It has improved significantly. We've also had to spike some orders to make sure that we could, in case of further delays, we could cater for the consumers. So in some cases we have taken excess inventory, but that's necessary to fulfill market demand.
So the supply chain was disrupted during the first quarter of the year, and we had a lot of shortage in the market. So when there is shortage, the demand increases automatically, and hopefully, since things are getting better in this part of the world, in the Middle East, things will get back to normal very soon.
NTV Sports News in association with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion.
The national under-20 men's team made it 2 out of 2 as they brushed aside Tunisia 56-17 in their second match at the Bats Cup in Harare, Zimbabwe. The North Africans struck first in the opening minutes of the game, but the response was swift when Chipu's Ido Nkuta hit back with a try that was converted by James Olela for a 7-5 lead. Michael Wamalwa doubled the score with a converted try for a 14-5 score. Alvin Cavoli touched down twice with a brace of tries to hand Chipu a 26-5 points cushion at the break. Kenya, who stand Namibia in their opening match, maintained the momentum in the second half, with Wamalwa scoring a double. Action continued today in Mombasa as the African International Defensive Pistol Association Championship entered day 2. The championship has attracted over 200 participants from all over the world who will be competing through 16 stages, shooting a minimum of 160 rounds. The competition will provide an opportunity for Kenya to prove herself to the world of her capabilities of hosting a world event, which also elevates the African continent. Different security agencies in the country will be taking part in the championship. Only licensed gun holders are eligible. Cool heads and fresh legs will hopefully help Liverpool win at Everton tonight from 10 p.m, but they will have to do it without Diogo Jota, who picked up an injury at Fulham, manager Jurgen Klopp says. Liverpool left some key players out of their starting lineup for Sunday's 3-1 win at Fulham, including Mohamed Salah, Ibrahima Konate, Dominic Soboslai, Darwin Núñez and Alexis McAllister ahead of the Merseyside derby. The Reds sit second on the table with 74 points from 33 matches, 3 behind leaders Arsenal, who hammered Chelsea 5-0 on Tuesday night. Defending champions Manchester City are third with a game in hand.
Sports News in association with Nivea Men Deep Impact Body Lotion.
For an exclusive 3-time skin effect, try Nivea Men Deep powered by Black Carbon for 48-hour deep moisture, a fresh skin feel, and a long-lasting masculine fragrance. Try Nivea Men Deep Roll-On for 72-hour antibacterial sweat protection.
And that concludes NTV Tonight. My name is Olive Burrows. Our sign language interpreter has been Flora Atieno. Good night.
This is NTV.
Unapocheza Lotomoto, ni wengi wanasaidika, na ni kwa sababu yako wengi wasiojiweza wananufaika. Na kwako wewe mchezaji, unajipatia fursa ya kujishindia Toyota Hiace ambaye namtangaza mshindi on the 5th of May. Zidi kucheza Lotomoto, zidi kucheza Lucky Game na uzidi kusaidia jamii ya wasiojiweza kwa ujumla. Matrindi huyu hapa na anakugoja. Dial *524#, chagua option namba 4 na ujiingize katika draw ya kuvuka namba 3. Mshindi tunamtangaza 5th of May. Dial *524#, chagua option namba 4. Cheza Lucky Game na tunakuhakikishia ushindi, na bahati yako itakufikia mahali popote ulipo. Kumbuka kucheza ni *524#.
It ain't easy to be tough, to stand tall when your legs are about to give up. But being tough is the only option. I am a toughie.
Bata Toughies. Durable and comfortable shoes to match your inner toughness.
The present and future of a prosperous country rests on steel. Devkey Steel Mills, state-of-the-art factory, produces durable steel purely from iron ore. The Devkey Next Generation TMT Bars BS Grade 600 MPa is at the core of skyscrapers, bungalows, bridges. Why compromise on safety on your long-term investments? insist on DevKey Next Generation TMT Bars BS Grade 600 MPa, the first of its kind in Kenya with extra strength. DevKey Steel Mills, proudly Kenyan.
Welcome to Herencia, the heartland of good living, where you belong. A community with endless possibilities. Your path to discovering a master-planned gated community that matches your ambitions. Get yourself this must-have piece of paradise with state-of-the-art amenities, constant water supply, good security, tarmac roads, and much more from as low as 3.5 million. The best part, availability of buy and build financing services. Don't wait. Contact us today or visit our offices for more info. Buy and build your way at Herencia, the heartland of good living.
We can't wait to hear your story. No story is too big or too small. Build your story with an Absa One account. Earn 10% interest per annum on your savings. Download the Absa Kenya app to open an account. Your story matters.
Warembo, ni nini muhimu kwenu mnaponunua body lotion?
Smoothness, scent, glow.
Nunua Nice and Lovely body lotion. Inai-transform dry skin kuwa deeply nourished na kui-smoothed. Na fragrance nayo. Wacha tu.
Now available in the 850 ml pack.
Chagua Kenya's #1 body lotion.
This is NTV.
Honey as a natural sweetener, food preservative, and medicine is one of the most consumed foods worldwide. However, toxic honey poses an often ignored threat to the public. In the last 2 years, at least 13 people have died after consuming wild honey in Tharaka Nithi County, raising questions about the safety of the delicious bee product. Over 100 people have been hospitalized and discharged. All the deaths were reported among Tharaka, who practice traditional bee farming, mainly to produce honey for domestic consumption or to prepare traditional brew known as OK. We head out to Tharaka North Sub-County to hear from residents who continue to consume the wild honey locally known as Nchora, despite many deaths being reported annually. In Kangombe village, we meet Peter Mudhure's family, digging graves to lay to rest 2 of their family members, a 9-year-old and a 90-year-old granny who died after consuming wild honey several days ago. Peter Mudhure is in pain after losing both his mother and son to the toxic honey. He says his son became weak and started vomiting, diarrhea, and complaining of stomach pains about 6 hours after eating the honey.
Nirudi saa 2 na usiku. Nikakuta mamangu ameapa, alafu wengine wanatapika. Mimi tukaanza kushughulika na wale, tukaanza kuwauliza maswali. Wakaita hao watoto wengine, wale wamekula nao huyo asali, ndio tukaanza kupeleka hospitali. Huyu mtoto wangu mdogo anaitwa Ngondi Pulimwendia, alikufa hapo hospitali.
His 2 sons had consumed the honey, but one survived. He says it breaks his heart to bid goodbye to his son, whom he raised single-handedly after his wife left him.
Huyo mtoto nimeachiwa naye akiwa na nyonya. Akarewa na huyo mama. Bibi yangu akatoroka na hata julikani mahali yako. Alimwacha akiwa mtoto sana.
Huyo mtoto alilia mpaka akasirai. Aliposirai daktari alikimbia, akachukua kompyuta akakuja akamwekelea hapa. Akamuuliza unasikia nini? Hakuongea. Wakamuuliza sasa daktari unasema nini? Akamwambia huyo mtoto ameaga.
And that is how the bright future of a grade 4 pupil was cut short. Mudhure eulogizes his son as a responsible, bright and obedient child who knew when and how to be firm.
Mimi mwenyewe hata wewe mtoto wangu alikuwa standard 4, class grade 4. hata hajasikia manini, na alikuwa namba 1. Hata zawadi yake iko huko shuleni, manake ni sikupata nafasi ya kwenda huko, kwa huko Moshari. Sasa hata moyo wangu umevunjika, hata sina akili mstimamu, manake nikimkumbuka naona nimeisha pengine.
6 people from this family had consumed the honey. A survivor of the killer honey says that he took only half a glass and 10 hours later he fell sick.
Kuendaenda kidogo nikaanzia kutapika hivi. Sasa ndio nilijua hali ni juu. Sasa hao watoto wengine walikuwa wanaara na wanatapika, nikajua sasa hiyo ndio dalili.
Edward Mokundi was warned against consuming the honey, but he couldn't resist its sweetness.
Kwa tumeketi hapo na mama yangu, niliwaambia wacha lete hii asali nikule, nilisikia inakulanga watu. Wacha nikule, hao watu wanaroganga watu hii ya roho. Ndio niliwaambia hivyo tu. Na furaha tu, nilikuwa na njoko juu sasa wamekataa shoshi akule, na alikuwa amekula, nikawaambia leteni hiyo mnakataa akule.
He vows never to consume the honey again.
Sio kitu mzuri juu kulingana mahali nilitoka. Hapana, mimi siwezi kula tena. Sio kitu mzuri. Ukikula sio rahisi kusurvive. Hata kama tumesurvive ni bahati tu ya Mungu.
His cousin is also a victim.
Alitafika haki hata uko hospitali karibu kufa, ni Mungu tu alisimama na sisi. Alikula akiwa anasema acha nikule tu. Nilisikia watu walikufa lakini inchora sio, hakuna shida. Wewe usiku.
When situation became worse, they lifted their eyes to the heaven seeking divine intervention.
Akiwa watoto ni Mungu alikuja kwa wondi mwenyewe, akutumana. Ni Mungu alikuja yeye mwenyewe. Hata madaktari walikuwa walikuwa wanasema nini inaendelea, si ni muombe. Wengine wakakuja wakaanza kuomba.
Nilimuita mtoto, nikamuuliza unasikia aje? Mtoto wangu akakataa, akasema yeye asikii kitu. Tukakuja mpaka hapa tukakuta watu wanatapika wanaara na yeye ari. Bila tu tulirudi kwa nyumba, nilisikia na strain kupumua. Ndio kumuita hivi alianza kutapika. Bila alianza kutapika tulitoka hapa kitu saa 7 kamili hivi. Saa 7:30 tulikuwa Marimanti. Wakawekwa kanula, wakaanza kuwekwa maji.
Once rushed to the hospital, the victims are treated for food poisoning, and most of those who start medication early enough recover and are discharged within 1 week.
Mimi hiyo siku yote sikuwa nimekula kitu na macho yakuwa yanaona. Hata simu ilikuwa inapigwa nikuchukua nauliza mtu nani anaongea na mimi. Singejua anything. Nilikuwa naona tu anaenda. Na hakuna sababu, hakuna njia ya kuzuia. Wewe ugonjwa unasema najua ni ugonjwa. Lakini kama ni sumu na inakula si unadhani tu anaenda.
Even as this family prepares to lay to rest 2 of their family members who died after consuming wild honey locally known as nchora, the residents are yet to come to terms with this honey which has turned dangerous, poisonous and deadly.
Hapo mbeleni tukiwa vijana tulikuwa tunakula hii. Na ikuwa na shinda, na ikuwa inatudhuru. Kwanza wakati tulikuwa tunaona iko hapo juu, tulikuwa siulize uju. Tunakimbilia vipanga nyumbani. Tuje tutoe hii kitu tukule. Na tunashinda kula, hata kina mama tunaletea, tunawaambia kuleni na wanafurahi. Na ikuwa na shinda. Lakini saa hii sijui ni nini yenyewe iko na shinda, labda tuambiwe.
Few meters from Mudhure's home is the tamarind tree where the toxic honey was discovered by loggers who had cut a tree for timber. Most people who consumed the honey were children because they went around sharing it. 8 people were hospitalized in Marimanti Level 4 Hospital. Nchora is not made by common bees, but by a species of smaller ones locally known as tochora, which do not sting and mainly live in hollow trees or abandoned burrows in the ground. Locals believe that nchora, which is eaten raw, is medicinal and it's highly sought after, especially by pastoralists.
Ni asali ya kienyeji, wild honey, ambayo inatengenezwa na wadudu ambao wanakaa ni kama nyuki, lakini si wale nyuki wa beehives, ni nyuki wengine ambao wanatengeneza asali kwa msitu, kwa mashimo ya miti. Wanaenda wanapata kama mti umepasuka mahali, wanatengeneza asali huko ndani, wanazibaziba kule kuna mashimo kwa ujuzi yao, na wanaanza kutengeneza asali. Asali yenyewe ni kama ya nyuki, lakini saa ingine inakuwa ni sumu.
The community health promoter says the one sweet honey started to turn toxic in 2019. But why do the locals continue to consume the honey even after killing people every year?
Hii ni tamu sana, ni kama asali tu. Kama asali, na ni zaidi ya asali. Hii asali ya hii na ile asali ya nyuki, hii ndio tamu sana kuliko ile ya nyuki. Kwanza ukipata ile ingine inatengenezanga na kama tu hiyo waxi na unasema na unatoa ukiwa unaweka kwa mdomo, hiyo haiwezi kushindana na ile ya nyuki. Ni nzuri sana yenyewe, sio mchezo. Ni tamu sana. Hii ni nzuri sana.
According to traditional beekeepers, sometimes bees that make nchora collect raw honey-making nectar from poisonous flowers. In 2021, 5 people died in the months of June and July after consuming the wild honey. In 2022, another 5 people died, including 2 children, and 27 others treated at Marimanti Level 4 Hospital. In 2023, a grade 8 boy from Tumbura area in Kadura sublocation died and another hospitalized. In April 2024, 2 people died in Kangombe village and 8 others treated successfully. The highly affected villages are Rukani, Kiaruni, Mugoroka, Kangombe and Geshini. All these villages are in the Raka North constituency.
The recent case, we have also taken the samples. We are taking them to government chemists this week for still analysis so that we can be able to see whether we can get traces of this poison that is affecting and killing our people.
A report from Marimanti Level 4 Hospital indicated that there was no dangerous chemical in the 3 samples of the honey, which was taken to the government laboratory for analysis.
We've been requesting for bacteriological analysis, but then this last sample we have requested for toxicological analysis, and we believe that is what may now and others tell us exactly what is this compound, chemical compound that is harmful to these people.
Area leaders have warned locals against consumption of wild honey, which has killed 13 people and left scores fighting for their lives in hospitals in the last 2 years.
Sasa tunatoa mwito wazazi watunze watoto wakati wanaenda kulisha mbuzi, wasikule hiyo asali kwa sababu inaonekana iko na sumu. Na tunaendelea kufanya mikutano ndio tuelimishe watu wasiete mishipa kama hii. Unaona tulikuwa karibu tukose watu 10 siku moja kwa sababu unit moja.
In all the cases, government reportedly took the killer honey samples for test. It has never told the members of the public about the dangerous chemical in it and whether it is harvested while contaminated or the toxins mixed with the honey during storage. Margaret Kimathi, NTV.
This is NTV.
Ukilipa bill zako na M-Cop Cash reward ya 1000 inaweza kukukodolea macho. Kuna 100 daily winners.
Shinda cash na M-Cop Cash. Cooperative Bank. We are you. Terms and conditions apply.
It ain't easy to be tough, to stand tall when your legs are about to give up. But being tough is the only option. I am a toughie.
Bata Toughies. Durable and comfortable shoes to match your inner toughness.
This is indeed a walk for a brighter future. Every stride raises funds for the Alumni Scholarship Fund, a beacon of hope for deserving students in need.
Understand and manage your emotions effectively. Emotional intelligence is valuable for building strong relationships in the marketplace.
Apply now and begin your journey to transformative leadership in your area of training. Or simply log on to www.parkuniversity.ac.ke.
Park University, where leaders are made.
Tired of popping pills and carrying hot water bottles each time you have menstrual cramps? I recommend Deep Heat Period Pain Patch. Convenient to use anywhere, anytime. Tear and remove protective film and attach the patch only once directly to the lower abdomen. The patch gives a penetrating warmth that relieves menstrual cramps and pain for up to 12 hours. Girls, don't give in to the pain.
Roto.
It's fair to say Borussia Dortmund's season has resembled a roller coaster. BVB's performances in the Bundesliga have been inconsistent and lackluster, in contrast with their spirited showings in the Champions League. And while their unpredictability was evident over 180 minutes against Atletico Madrid, Dortmund are on the cusp of an unlikely Champions League final berth.
I tried looking out for you, bro. Hey, you see now? How's the heartburn? Look now, it's burning.
Do not hold back in any situation. Eno gets to work on the 6 symptoms of heartburn fast.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated 18. It may contain scenes suitable for adults only.
Wiki hii katika kupatana.
At what level is temptation a temptation?
This girl, okay, it's my wife. Tulianza kudate hapo 2018, 2019. Mapenzi kakuwa tight. The moment I'll get the baby alizaa, alikuja akakuwa too lazy. Tulikuwa na mfanyakazi kwa nyumba, but mfanyakazi alikuwa kitu. Alikuwa anakuja na cleaner na wash clothes. The worst thing alikuwa anatandika hadi bed. Mimi nimeamka hivi kidogo nikapata mfanyakazi yako huko anafua. Kumuongelesha nikaona amejipa.
Are there mistakes that can be forgiven? And are there mistakes that cannot be forgiven? Is there a mistake that is too small, or another is too small, is too big? Or are there situations you can compromise? But what really happens in a situation whereby whatever you do can never ever be forgiven simply because you feel like you're given a raw deal? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kupatana Show. I remember, like we always say, this is not scripted, this is not enacted. This is a real show, real situations, real times, and real conclusions. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, remember you can always watch to get the full episodes by clicking on the link down here below. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Fonike. Sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the eagle
Unameza
himself.
mate na kale kapurnek. Kale kapurnek. Suti iko sawa lakini kapurnek.
I have told you time and time, I don't argue with my elders.
Kale
People who are board of directors and chamas. You know you are the founder of chama.
Nikiona
Don't think we
makosa,
don't know.
I remove it.
Eh?